This is ChestertonRadio.com.
Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades with the sharpest edges ever honed. Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports is on the air. From Sportsman Park in St. Louis, Gillette presents the 15th annual All-Star Baseball game between top-ranking players of the American and National League. Hello, everybody. This is France Locke with Mel Allen and Jim Britt greeting you for the Gillette Safety Razor Company, maker of Gillette razors, blades, and shaving cream. Gillette is your radio host when outstanding sports events such as today's Classic, the World Series, and Kentucky Derby occur throughout the year. This is the second time that the All-Star game has been played here at Sportsman Park. You'll remember that back in 1940, the Cardinals were the host club. This year, the St. Louis Browns of the American League are the host club. And our hats are off to Mr. Muckerman and DeWitt because they have everything in tip-top shape for this afternoon's ball game. They've even managed to get in a good word with the weatherman because this morning it was raining here in St. Louis, and the weatherman forecast cloudy weather with showers. But we're happy to say that right at the moment the sun is shining very brightly. However, there is a few clouds in the sky, but we have high hopes that we'll have an ideal afternoon for this ball game. The two clubs have been out on the field for some time. The American League club was out first, have gone through their batting practice, and at the moment the National Leaguers are taking theirs. And the clubs, we might say, have sent quite a few souvenir baseballs into the stands, and it looks like that it's going to be a capacity crowd here this afternoon. The tickets to this All-Star game have been sold out for weeks. The only thing that you've been able to buy for the last 3 or 4 days have been standing room tickets only. So if everything turns out okay, it's going to be a packed house, and even a larger crowd than attended the All-Star game here back in 1940. You'll remember in that particular game that that's one of the few times that the National League has won in the All-Star contest, and that was the first shutout that happened in All-Star play. In the very second inning, Max West hit a home run with 2 men on, and then they went ahead to score another run along in the 8th inning, and it was 4-0 in favor of the National League. You know, this game originally was started through the efforts of Mr. Arch Ward, the sports editor of the Chicago Tribune up in Chicago, the same man who originated the idea of the All-Star football game. And it's been carried on ever since, with the exception of 1945, when the game was out due to the fact of wartime travel. And since it originally started, the American League has won 10 of these victories, with the National League only winning 4 times. There's been 2 of the All-Star games that have been played at night. One was a twilight contest. All of the others have been afternoon games. And as you reminisce and look around, you'll see that only 3 players are actually active as players today from the group that originally participated in the All-Star game way back in 1933 at Comiskey Park in Chicago. And that happens to be Joe Medwick, Archie Vaughn, and Schoolboy Rowe. Of course, there's quite a few others around that are coaches at the present time, but we mean fellows that are actually still playing baseball. We'll sort of skimp over some of the scores of the game since the All-Star League started to sort of bring you up to date. You'll remember that back in 1933, the American League team won by a score of 4-2. Then the following year, the game was moved to the Polo Grounds in New York, in which the American Leaguers again won by a score of 9-7. And that's the particular series that Lefty Hubble, Carl Hubble, gave his great exhibition of pitching when he struck out 5 of the greatest hitters in the game in a row. In fact, I believe he had 6 strikeouts in the 2 innings. And when he walked off from the mound at the Polo Grounds, the stands really rocked from the ovations that he received. Then there was the game of 1935 at the Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, and the American League again won by a score of 4-1. In 1936, at Braves Field in Boston, that was the first win for the National League. The score in that particular game was 4-3 in favor of the National Leaguers. The next year, 1937, the game was played at Griffith Stadium in Washington. And the American Leaguers won by a score of 8-3. And you'll remember in that particular game, that is the game where Dizzy Dean, while pitching for the National Leaguers, was hit on the toe by a line drive off the bat of Earl Averill. And we might say that that was really the start of the downfall of Dizzy Dean's pitching career, because he came back and tried to pitch before the toe was in shape, and naturally he threw the ball while off balance, and it eventually hurt his arm, and he never did get over it. The game of 1938 was played in Crosley Field, Cincinnati, and that was the second win for the National League. They came out on top in that particular contest by a score of 4-1. In 1939, Yankee Stadium in New York, and the American Leaguers won out by a score of 3-1. The game of 1940, as we mentioned earlier, was played right here at Sportsman Park, and the National League won their third contest by a score of 4-0. In 1941, the game was played at Briggs Stadium in Detroit, and that was another contest that had a dramatic finish when Ted Williams hit one right at the tail end of the game to break up the contest. And then in 42 at the Polo Grounds, the American League won 3-1. A night game at Philadelphia in 43, the American Leaguers won 5-3. A night game in 44 at Forbes Field, Pittsburgh, the National League won their last contest 7-1. No game in 1945. In 1946 at Fenway Park, Boston, the American League won by a score of 12-0. And then in 1947 at Wrigley Field, the American League won by a score of 2-1. There's 28 American Junior Legion baseball players who are graduates of Junior Legion baseball participating in this All-Star Classic here today. I believe there's about 17 on the American League and 10 on the National League, if we remember correctly, on the dope. The groundkeepers are out now, manicuring the infield, getting the diamond in shape for this afternoon's game, and the two respective pitchers are starting to warm up. We'll run over the lineup hurriedly for you, and then Jim Britt, who will do the play-by-play on the first 4 1/2 innings this afternoon, will check them with you a little later on. For the National League, Richie Ashburn of Philadelphia in center field. Red Chaney of the St. Louis Cardinals, second base. Stan Musial of the Cardinals in left field. Johnny Mize of the New York Giants at first base. Enos Slaughter of the Cardinals in right field. Andy Pasco of the Chicago Cubs, third base. Walker Cooper of the New York Giants, catch. Pee Wee Reese of the Brooklyn Dodgers at short. And Ralph Branca of the Brooklyn Dodgers will be the starting pitcher. In the American League, Pat Mullen of the Detroit Tigers, right field. Tommy Hendrick of the New York Yankees, left field. Lou Boudreau of the Cleveland Indians at short. Joe Gordon of the Indians at second base. Walter Hoot Evers of the Detroit Tigers, center field. Ken Keltner of the Indians, third base. George McQuinn of the New York Yankees at first base. Buddy Rozar of the Philadelphia Athletics will be the catcher. And Walter Masterson of the Washington Senators will be the pitcher. Masterson has won 6 ball games and lost 6. Ralph Branca has won 10 and lost 6. The umpires, Charlie Berry of the American League will be working behind the plate. Bill Stewart of the National League at first base. Paparella of the American League at second base. And Beans Reardon of the National League at third. Now these men will alternate. That is, Berry and Reardon will alternate from after 4 1/2 innings. Berry will go down to third, and Reardon will come into the plate, the way we've been informed. And the second, same thing applies to the two umpires working at first and second, Paparella and Stewart. And now, doing the first 4 1/2 innings of the play-by-play this afternoon, a man who hardly needs any introduction to you baseball fans. Up around Boston, he does the home games of both the Boston Braves and the Boston Red Sox. I believe this is his 4th All-Star game. You've also heard him on World Series play. None other than Jim Britt. Come in, Jim.
Thank you, Franz. Good afternoon, everyone. In just a moment, I suspect we shall have the national anthem, and then the baseball festivities will get really underway. But before that, I would like, even before he comes in for the last 4 1/2 innings of the play-by-play description of this Gillette-sponsored 1948 All-Star Major League Baseball game, to present, again, my colleague, Mel Allen, whose broadcasts of the New York Yankee games during the regular season are so popular throughout the metropolis. Mel?
Hello there, everybody. Jim, it's real swell to be working with you again. And incidentally, we're getting ready to get underway, and I don't want to take up any more time than necessary. We'll be back a little bit later on for the last half of the game. But it is interesting to let you fans know that Commissioner Chandler made the statement. He said, even though it isn't very likely, he said, in the event the ball game is tied up and it becomes dark, he said, we're going to turn on the lights and keep playing until the ball game has reached the conclusion. So if you folks got any plans ahead for the evening, I'd suggest you kind of hold them in abeyance, because you never can tell. We'll have to play till midnight. Okay, Jim.
Well, come missed planes or missed trains, this ball game is going to go to a conclusion. But now, before it gets underway, we pause for station identification. Remember, men, look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades with the sharpest edges ever honed. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem. Before Richie Ashburn, the sensational young Philadelphia Phil center fielder, steps into the batter's box to await the first pitch of bespectacled Walter Masterson of the Washington Nationals, let me repeat for you the starting batting orders. For the National League, Ashburn of Philadelphia, center field. Shane Dienst of the Cardinals, second base. Musial of the Cardinals, left field. Mize of the Giants, first base. Slaughter of St. Louis in right field. Pafko of the Cubs, third base. There goes Bert Schotten's first pitch, and it is taken by Buddy Roser. And Buddy then flips it back to Bert Schotten, who piloted the Brooklyn Dodgers to their 1947 National League Championship. And Commissioner A.B. Chandler autographs the ball and insists that Bert keep it. In the National League, after Enos Slaughter, who will play right field and bat in the number 5 position, if you're scoring the game, mark down the name of third baseman Andy Pafko of the Chicago Cubs. In the number 7 position, catcher Walker Cooper of New York. At shortstop, Pee Wee Reese of Brooklyn, and the starting pitcher Ralph Branca of Brooklyn, number 13. He flaunts superstition with it and has a record of 10 victories, 6 defeats for the Bums of Ebbets Field. The Bums, of course, is a term of affection and endearment bestowed upon the Brooklyn Dodgers by one of the most rabid sets of baseball enthusiasts in the nation. Defensively, Pat Mullen will be in right field for the American Leaguers. Hoot Evers of Detroit, his teammate, will be in center field. Tommy Henrich of the Yankees in left field. And the infield will be McQuinn of New York, Gordon of Cleveland, manager Lou Boudreau of Cleveland, Keltner at third, and the battery Masterson and Rosar. Ashburn, a blonde left-hander, is up. And the first pitch is a ground ball that goes into the glove of Gordon. Gordon throws to first, can't get him. A magnificent play by Gordon, who went back to first base, made a cross-handed stab, left high off the ground, and he fired it. He went back of second base, fired to first base, but the throw was so high that McQuinn was taken off the bag, and the official scorer rules base hit. Red Shane Dienst, formerly of Germantown, Illinois, now of St. Louis, and is up. He's a switch batter, batting left. Foul ball, right back, strike one. Masterson tried to powder over a fastball. This is Ashburn's first All-Star game, He entered it with a batting average of .351. He is the second highest batter in the National League, and of course that is his first All-Star hit. One of many to come, I'm certain. Shane Dean stands straight away. Ashburn leads off. There he digs for second base. Here's a throw from Roser to Boudreau, and it goes over second base, backed up by Gordon, and it's a steal for Ashburn. The count is ball one, strike one, and it is a stolen base for Richie Ashburn. In the National League, he just gives opposing pitchers fits. So now, third baseman Ken Keltner is laying in just a bit in the event of a bunt. Mel Ott, the manager of the New York Giants, is the first base coach. He came up under the great John McGraw. Eddie Dyer, the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, is coaching at third. Charlie Berry, the plate umpire. Ashburn is on second base, taking a good lead. The pitch to Shane Dean. There's a ground ball that goes down the third baseline, an unassisted put-out. The first baseline, an unassisted put-out is made by George McQuinn, and Ashburn moves up. Ashburn is on third with just one out. And one of the great St. Louis Cardinals stars of St. Louis baseball history, Stanley Musial, comes up with a current season's average of .403. His All-Star average is down to .182. This is his fifth All-Star game. And the outfield moves around to the right. The infield pulls in to try to cut off the run. Masterson pitches. Strike call, fastball. That just bit the inside corner of the plate. The temperature is somewhere in the upper 80s. The humidity is high, but it's the kind of a baseball day the players profess to prefer. Here it comes. Foul ball. That one caromed off the left shin guard of Buddy Roser into the first base stands. And the count is strike two. Big Johnny Mize, who is the veteran of the National League All-Stars, playing in his 8th game today, is near the on-deck circle. Ashburn takes a conservative lead off third base. The deepest of the infielders is second baseman Joe Gordon, who's playing about 20 feet to the right of second base. Masterson pitches. There goes a long drive to right center field, and that looks like a home run. It is. 2-0. Stanley Musial just walloped an enormous home run atop the right center field stands. And all the center fielder, Hoot Evers, could do was watch as Ashburn scored ahead of him from third, and the National Leaguers lead 2-0. Here's Big Johnny Mize with a season's average of .283. Inside, ball one. The National League has drawn first blood. Victor in only 4 of the previous 14 All-Star games. Leo DeRocher's crew has struck swiftly in the first inning. The pitch. Strike call. A slow curveball. That's coasted over belt high. The ball was atop the right center field stands, just to the left of the 354-foot mark. Musial's drive. There's a fastball low. 2-1. Bucky Harris plans to follow Walter Masterson with Vic Raschi of the Yankees and Joe Coleman of the A's. There is no warm-up pitcher. The outfield is deep to the right, so is the infield. There's a ground ball, and that one goes right by Gordon into center field for another base hit. It was between Gordon and second base, and Mize has the third National League hit. That will enhance his batting average in the All-Star game, which had been only .176. The enthusiastic welcome was for one of the great players of National League history, Enos Slaughter of the St. Louis Cardinals. He's playing right field in this batting order and has a batting average for the season of .314, an All-Star game average of .250, and this is his 5th appearance in All-Star Spangles. The outfield a little to the right of straightaway, the left side of the infield in, and there is a curveball right over the outside corner to a left-handed batter for strike one. Country Slaughter, as he's better known, and his throw will forever be remembered to cut off a Red Sox run in the World Series of 1946, as will his mad dash from first to score on Walker's single. Ball, 1-1. Slaughter was one of the heroes of that 1946 World Series, as was Harry the Cat Brackeen, who won 3 ball games. Masterson stretches. Mize leads off. There's one in the dirt. It gets by Roser. Mize goes to second base. And we're awaiting the decision of the official scorer. Wild pitch or pass ball. A pass ball is the ruling. So Roser is charged with a battery error. And for the third time, the National Leaguers have a runner on second base. Now the left side of the infield goes back just a little. The right side, with Joe Gordon, the second baseman, deep, waits for the pitch. Slaughter digs in, and it's low and outside to make it 3-1. And there, hustling out to the bullpen, is Yogi Berra. He may be sent out to warm up Joe Dobson of the Boston Red Sox. Berra just carried the message. John Schulte is doing the warming up. The official scorer just changed that pass ball to a wild pitch. So it is a battery error charged to Masterson, not to Roser. 3-1. Ball 4. That was a little too high. It seemed to catch the corner, but it was up around the neck. A base on balls for Slaughter. Masterson has runners on first and second with 1 out. And Andy Pafko, the Chicago Cub third baseman, up with an impressive .342 batting average. This is his second All-Star game. In the first one, he had 1 hit and 2 trips. He's a right-hander. Stan Musial's first All-Star game home run gave the National Leaguers a 2-0 lead in the first inning. Now there are 2 on with 1 out. The pitch to Pafko. There's a ground ball. That goes to Keltner. He steps on third, flips to first, and the throw is not in time as it hits the dirt, bounds into McQuinn's glove. So it is a force play on Johnny Mize at third base. Keltner unassisted, with Slaughter moving to second base on the fielder's choice, and Pafko reaching first. A good throw by Keltner would have retired the side, but the ball bounded in the dirt about 10 or 15 feet in front of McQuinn. Walker Cooper of the New York Giants, the catcher and the number 7 batter for the National Leaguers in the first inning, comes up. He has a season's average of .257, but an impressive .385 All-Star mark. This is his 6th All-Star game. He's a big, husky right-hander. Outside, ball 1. You'll be interested to know that his brother Morton pitched an exhibition game for the New York Giants last night against Buffalo, allowed 2 hits and only 1 run in 4 innings, and the Giants won the ball game 8-3. Masterson pitches. There's a ground ball. It goes to Keltner. Keltner elects to make the play to second base to Gordon, and Pafko is forced going in 5-4. So it's another fielder's choice to wind up the first inning with 2 National League runs on 3 hits, no errors, a base on balls, 2 runners left. National League 2, American League, nothing. Baseball has yet to produce a more forceful figure than the late John McGraw, who was supreme in his field for over 2 generations. When leadership endures years on end, you may be sure it's based on exceptional merit. Take the Gillette Blue Blade, for example. It continues to be number 1 in popularity because it's number 1 in shaving performance. No other razor blade is as sharp, smoothly finished, or long-lasting. Now, to enjoy extra convenience at no extra cost, buy Gillette Blue Blades in the modern Gillette dispenser, which deals them out one at a time, unwrapped, ready for any Gillette razor. The dispenser holds 20 blades, 40 superlative shaving edges. You pay only 98 cents, price of the blades alone. Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades with the sharpest edges ever honed. The score is National League All-Stars 2, American League All-Stars nothing. Going into the last half of the first inning, Pat Mullen, the Detroit Tigers, who is playing left field in this right field in this batting order, will face Ralph Branca, a 10-game winner for Brooklyn. Thanks to Ashburn's single, stolen base, and infield out, and Musial's first All-Star game home run, the National Leaguers lead 2-0. Branca gets set. Mullen's batting average for the year is .297. Outside, ball one. This is his first All-Star game, by the way. The coaches are Charlie Dressen and Red Corridon of New York. Dressen at third base, Corridon at first base. Branca pitches. Swing and a miss. Branca fired a fastball. It was belt high. At third base for the National League, Andy Pafko. Shortstop, Pee Wee Reese. Second base, Red Schoendienst. He injured himself, slid a few times before today's game, indicated his readiness to play. And the first baseman is Big John Mize. The outfield, Musial, Ashburn, and Slaughter. The pitch. High outside, a fastball. 2-1. Every seat is sold out here at Sportsman's Park. And the weatherman has been good enough to cooperate to the extent of giving extremely hot weather, but rainless. Here it comes. Foul ball. Almost in the booth to our left. And then it rattled right down into the first base stands. The count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is old home week, so to speak, for baseball. You come to an all-star game, as is the case with the World Series, and you see baseball characters whom you admired when you were a kid, who have drifted away from the game, many of them are still with it. The pitch. There's a foul ball, and it bounds back down again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joe Cronin, who long since hung up his number 4 with the Boston Red Sox, had a chance to catch another one then. 2-2 the count. Third baseman Pafko is playing close. Strike 3, swinging. A fast curveball was thrown by Ralph Branca, and he strikes out Pat Mullen to open the ball game. The second batter is one of baseball's most underrated performers, in the opinion of many baseball experts. Tommy Henrich of Massillon, Ohio, on the New York Yankees. This is his third All-Star game. His All-Star batting average is .200, his season's mark .250. He's a left-hander, uses a slightly closed stance, and he looks at a ball that comes in low. 1 ball, no strikes. Branca, a big, husky right-hander who has had a lot to do with the sudden surge of the DeRocher Dodgers recently. Swing and a miss. An easy swing at a fastball. It was difficult to determine whether Henrich tried to stop his swing or was intent upon swinging easily in order to loft the ball over the heads of the infielders. The outfield plays him to the right. 1-1 the count. The National League leads 2-0. Last of the first. None on, 1 out. High and wide. 2-1. It's 310 feet down the right field foul line to the stands, 351 down the left field line, and 423 to the flagpole in dead center field. Branca pitches. High. 3-1. Waiting his turn in the on-deck circle is the great manager of the Cleveland Indians. Three balls, 1 strike to count. Red Corridon, who is coaching down at first base, is anxious to have a base runner, so he'll have someone to chat with. The windup. Strike called. Branca threw a moderate fastball that caught the outside corner. Henrich's rear foot is almost outside the batter's box. His heel touches, his toe is out. The payoff pitch coming up. Branca studies the sign of his catcher. Here it is. Strike 3. He's called out on strikes. But Henrich was under the impression that he had not completed the swing, and Lou Boudreau is arguing with Charlie Berry. Henrich was about a third of the way down the first base line when he was called out. There's the second straight strikeout for Branca. Mullen and Henrich. Here is Lou Boudreau with a batting average of .355. He has an all-star batting average of .400, by the way, and has appeared in 5 games. He hit a 2-run homer in the all-star game at the Polo Grounds in 1942 to help send Mort Cooper down to defeat. And he hit it his first time up. He bats from that peculiar crouch of his, a right-hander. He let the curveball go by on the inside. He wasn't even set to swing that trip. 1 ball, no strikes. He is the only manager in either batting order. The pitch. Strike call. That fast curveball of Branca's came over knee high. 1-1. There will be an umpiring switch at the end of 4.5 innings so that the umpiring is broken up and each league has a man back of the plate. There's a ground ball that goes to the left of the mound. Reese comes in fast, picks it up, throws over to first. Mize gets it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ralph Branca. That play went 6-3. Reese to Mize. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. And Leo DeRocher's own right-handed star, Ralph Branca, with a record of 10-6, is off to a most impressive start. In the first half of the second inning of this game, Pee Wee Reese, Ralph Branca, and Richie Ashburn will be the first three batters. At the moment, however, there is time, in the event you just joined this Gillette broadcast, to bring you up to date on the batting orders. For the National League, center field, Ashburn, Philadelphia. Second base, Shane Dienst, St. Louis. Left field, Musial, St. Louis. First base, Mize, New York. Right field, Slaughter, St. Louis. Third base, Pafko, Cubs. Catcher, Walker Cooper, New York. Shortstop, Reese, Brooklyn. Pitching, Branca of Brooklyn. Charlie Dressen, by the way, went out to the bullpen to deliver some information to Joe Dobson. And Dobson has started to warm up again. First up, facing Walter Masterson, is Pee Wee Reese. He fouls one back against the screen. The Kentucky Colonel, as he's better known, Pee Wee, another nickname, a little right-hander, former national marble champion. Swung at that first one as though he expected to have luck similar to that of Richie Ashburn and Stanley Musial. He has a season's mark of 300, no hits in 2 All-Star trips. Outside, 1-1. This is Pee Wee's third All-Star game. And he sat through one of them in 1946 at Boston with his neck in a harness after it was suspected that he had fractured a vertebrae. Masterson throws. Swing and a miss. He took a good cut, went down to his right knee. Eddie Dyer and Mel Ott are the coaches at third and first. It's a shirt-sleeve crowd here at Sportsman Park in the 15th All-Star game. The game skipped 1945 because of wartime travel emergencies. Here it comes. High inside. 2-2. Not much wind blowing. It isn't a factor. Eddie Dyer is doing a little rooting down in the third base coach's box as Masterson winds up, delivers, strike 3, swinging. Pee Wee Reese becomes the first National League strikeout victim. And Big Ralph Branca starts the trek from the National League All-Star dugout on the right side or first base side of the diamond out to the plate, and he takes a bat handed him by Richie Ashburn. And the big lad is given a good round of applause. He swings as he throws, right-handed. The National Leaguers have a 2-0 lead on the strength of Stanley Musial's 2-run first-inning home run. Here it is. There's a slow roller down the third base line. Keltner comes up with it, and he guns a throw to first base, and it is taken for the out. Keltner flips it over to McQuinn for a 5-3 out, third to first, and with 2 men out in the first half of the second inning, Richie Ashburn comes up. In games in which the Philadelphia Phils have played, I have clocked Ashburn in 3.4 seconds going down that first base line many a time. And Ben Chapman is willing to put him up against any other base runner in either league. He's a toe-headed youngster who can run like the wind, a left-hander. He beat out a hit to Gordon his first time. There's the bunt, but it's fouled back. He's perfectly willing to pit his speed against that of any third baseman, shortstop, second baseman, or first backer in the business when it comes to pushing or dragging bunts. He already owns the game's first stolen base and has had an impressive All-Star game debut. Masterson pitches. There goes a high pop-up to deep shortstop, but the left fielder, Henrik, comes in, and he takes it. Lou Boudreau couldn't have reached it. and it's a pop-up to left field. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. The score is National League All-Stars 2, American League All-Stars nothing. As plenty of you know, the greatest pitching exhibition of all time took place in 1905. That was the year of the all-shutout World Series. Believe me, the customers got their money's worth and then some. Yes, and so will you when you ask for the improved Gillette Super Speed Razor, the greatest shaving value ever offered. With this razor, you change blades instantly. Twist, it opens. Zip, it's loaded. Twist again, and you're ready to shave. To clean, simply loosen the handle, rinse, and shake. Make no mistake, this is a precision instrument, not a gadget. There's nothing to fit together, nothing to jam or clog. You save time, save fuss, and enjoy the swellest shaves ever. Ask for the improved Gillette Super Speed Razor with 10-blade Gillette dispenser. It's a big $1.50 value for only $1. Now we pause for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Going into the last half of the second inning with second baseman Joe Gordon, the cleanup batter, leading off for the American League. The National League All-Stars lead 2-0. Gordon is a right-handed batter with a .260 season's average, appearing in his 7th All-Star game. The outfield plays him to the left. Branca has 2 strikeouts so far and has faced only 3 batters. There goes a high fly ball towards left center field. Musial is over calling for it. And he takes it about 315 or 20 feet out. Gordon flies to left to open the second inning. Hoot Evers of the Detroit Tigers, the center fielder, up. He's playing the position that the fans wanted to see filled by the great Joe DiMaggio of the New York Yankees, but DiMaggio is injured to the extent that he will see limited service, if any. Evers has a season's average of .329, and this is his first All-Star game. He's a right-hander. A fastball inside, ball 1. There are 6 National League teams represented in this batting order at the moment, this defensive lineup. There's a drive down the left field line. Musial goes back, but he can't get it, and it is a home run. Hoot Evers homers to make it 2-1 National Leaguers. The records don't indicate whether any other American leaguer ever hit a home run his first time up. In an All-Star game, we're checking to determine whether or not the information is available, but Evers broke in with a bang. And it is 2-1 National Leaguers with 1 out in the second inning, and Ken Keltner, another right-hander, up. This is his 7th All-Star game. Ball 1, high inside. Keltner is one of the big reasons why the Cleveland Indians are in first place in the American League currently. His All-Star game average is .214. The pitch, high for ball 2, 2-0. Branca and Cooper, a Dodger and a Giant. 2 balls and no strikes. That drive was just to the left of the 358 mark. There's a foul ball that's drifting into the first base stands, and the count is 2-1. 2-1 the count. High, 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. This is the sort of a baseball game where no one will be required to go the distance. The 2 managers will try to give as many of the fans' representatives an opportunity to play as they can. Here's the pitch. There's ball 4. Fastball inside and low. And Branca now is in a situation with another base runner. The first one, of course, went all the way around, Hoot Evers. George McQuinn, the veteran New York Yankee first sacker, comes up. His All-Star game batting average is only .125. This is his 3rd appearance. But his batting average for the Yankees this year is .268. He stands straight up in the batter's box with a closed stance, feet close together. The third baseman plays him in. Swing and a miss. He took a left-handed cut at a fast curve ball. At first base, Johnny Mize is holding the runner, Ken Keltner, very closely. Johnny Sain of the Boston Braves is warming up for the National Leaguers, a right-hander with 11 wins. Keltner leads off just a little. Here's the pitch, and there's a high fly ball going to center field. Ashburn has his eye on it all the way as he comes in to take it. There is the second out. McQuinn flies straight away to center field to Ashburn. Keltner returns to first base, and Buddy Roser comes up. Buddy is Mr. Connie Mack's catcher and is one of the mainstays of the phenomenal Athletics, who, with one of the finest pitching staffs in either league, are knocking at Cleveland's door. Pafko came over to exchange a word of encouragement with the pitcher, Ralph Branca. This is Roser's third All-Star game. He has a season's average of .216, an All-Star record of .166. Low in the dirt, ball one. The possibility of a pinch hitter for Masterson suggests itself should Roser get aboard. Dobson is still warming up, and so is Johnny Sain for the National Leaguers. There's a throw to first, but Keltner danced back. Mize made no tag. The score is National League 2, American League 1. Branca delivers, and there goes a fly ball toward right field. Slaughter moves over toward the line. He takes it, and Roser's fly to right field retires the side in the last half of the second inning. One run, Evers' home run. No errors, just the one hit, a base on balls, and one runner left on base. So, at the end of 2 innings, the National Leaguers still lead by the narrowest possible margin, 2-1. The first 3 men up in the third inning for the National Leaguers will be Red Schoendienst, Stan Musial, and Johnny Mize. Mel, did you suspect that it was going to be the National League that would unleash its power so quickly to take a lead, as has been the case?
Well, in an all-star game, when you get so many glittering performers together, you never can tell what's going to happen. And in this instance, and this is not any sort of an alibi, because in our position we see all teams, it doesn't make a great deal of difference. It's the outcome of the game. But the American League's power pitchers are not in action. Walter Masterson is one of the best. He worked Saturday, however, and was knocked out of the box after several innings, and perhaps wasn't in the best of shape for the game. Maybe didn't warm up enough, as you indicated. But incidentally, Jim, I just ran upstairs to the press box to check, and they're working further. Hoot Evers, who is Joe DiMaggio's substitute in this game, hit as many home runs in one time at bat as DiMaggio had hit in 8 previous All-Star games, but it may not be the first time that a first man ever hit a home run the first time up. Max West did it in '39.
Here is Red Schoendienst leading off in the third, and he fouls that first one away for strike one. Well, one thing certain, Hoot Evers' debut in an All-Star game uniform will go down in the record books as one of the more memorable. Schoendienst grounded out to first baseman George McQuinn his first time up. Masterson winds up, fires it, and that's a curveball. Outside, 1-1. And now Vic Raschi is warming up for the American Leaguers. Dobson was to have been used in the event Masterson got into trouble, apparently. Walter pitches, and there's a high pop-up to the right side, a foul ball being chased by McQuinn. He goes through the coach's box, and he makes the catch directly in front of the National League dugout. Schoendienst fouls out to first baseman George McQuinn. 1 out in the third inning for the National Leaguers, who lead 2-1. And the applause is, as you might suspect, for Stanley Musial of Donora, Pennsylvania. One of the most popular baseball players ever to come down the Major League pike. His season's batting average of .403 is the only Major League mark at the moment above .400. Masterson lost control of the ball. He held it, slipped off the rubber, I believe, didn't seem to have injured himself, and never did deliver the pitch. If you were looking for a perfect balk, that would have been it had there been runners on. Now he throws. Outside, ball one. That was an oddity, but as far as the play of the game is concerned, it meant nothing, except that the crowd seemed to be delighted by it. Here it comes. There goes a drive to center field. It's sinking fast. The bat is broken, and it's in there for a base hit. That bat broke completely in half. He held the handle going down the first base line, and the rest of the bat flew out into the infield halfway between first base and the pitcher's mound for Musial's second hit and the fourth National League hit of the ball game. A single to center for Stam. He's on first, and Big Johnny Mize comes up. Mize single to center his last time. Here's the pitch. Strike called, a fastball. Mize singled through the middle his first time. That was Musial's fourth hit in 13 trips to the plate in an all-star capacity. But this is the first game in which he has really started off impressively. Masterson pitches. There's a ground ball. That one goes over to Joe Gordon. Gordon to Boudreau. Boudreau fumbles the ball, and he is out at second base. He picked the ball up just in time to get Stanley Musial at second. But, of course, the double play opportunity went by the boards, and very nearly both runners were safe. It was a high-bouncing ground ball, a very slow one to the right of second base, and in the interest of the double play, Gordon decided to flip the ball over to Boudreau. Had a force play been required, he obviously would have made the play himself. So the force out on Musial at second base is 4-6. Gordon to Boudreau. Lou dropped the ball on the left field side of second, but picked it up just before Musial came sliding in. That chops Johnny Mize down to 1 hit and 2 trips, gives him first base by virtue of the fielder's choice as Enos Slaughter comes up. He hasn't officially been at bat because he walked his first time. Masterson stepped off the mound, off the rubber, just as the plate umpire Charlie Berry called time. The outfield is deep to the right. Boudreau is playing just 12 or 15 feet to the left of second base. Swing and a miss. Strike one. You may recall last year in the All-Star game at Wrigley Field that one of the great plays of the contest was a position play by Lou Boudreau at the expense of Slaughter. Left-handed Johnny Schmitz of the Cubs is warming up for the National Leaguers. A curveball outside, 1-1. It was indicated to me prior to the game by Eddie Dyer that Schmitz might be the second starter, the second pitcher, but he at that time wasn't certain. Masterson throws one, a fastball way outside, and the count is 2-1. The score, National League All-Stars 2, American League All-Stars 1. But it's in the early stages of a game that must go at least 9 innings. The weather looks good. Little prospect of rain. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball that goes slowly down the third base line, and it is going to be an infield hit. Keltner had to let the ball roll. It rolled 90 feet right next to the bag. Mize went to second and was long since there, and Slaughter raced over first base down the right field line with a lazy little infield roller. Runners on first and second, and that is hit number 5 off the delivery of Walter Masterson. Keltner had no alternative because he never could hope to catch Slaughter at first. Dobson runs back out to the bullpen as Pafko steps in. He grounded into a force out his last time. He's a right-hander. Inside, ball 1. Last time at bat with Slaughter on second base, Pafko forced Mize at third. Mize on second base, rather, and Slaughter on first. Here's the pitch. Outside, and it's 2-0. Rashi continues to warm up. Dobson did not go out there for the purpose of replacing him. He had made a trip to the dugout and took a Turkish towel back out, which is a very useful implement on a day like this. Schmitz, a left-hander, still warming up for the National Leaguers. Masterson throws. There's a ground ball that goes to Gordon. Gordon flips to Boudreau, and the force on Slaughter winds up the inning. That one went 4-6. And in the third inning, no runs, 2 more National League hits, no errors, 2 runners left. The score is National League All-Stars 2, American League All-Stars 1. During his career with the Washington Senators, Walter Johnson pitched 7 opening day shutouts, a record no other pitcher has ever come close to matching. Unequal performance also explains the worldwide popularity of today's Gillette Blue Blade. No other blade on earth is as easy shaving or long-lasting. Now, folks, for extra convenience at no extra cost, buy Gillette Blue Blades in the handy Gillette dispenser. This puts 20 blades, 40 shaving edges right at your fingertips. There's an unwrapped blade for any Gillette razor. These blades reach you factory sharp and stay that way until used. You pay only 98 cents, the regular price of 20 blades. Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades with the sharpest edges ever honed. The statistician in the press box has completed his checking and has found that Hoot Evers is the first American League All-Star ever to hit a home run his first time up. It was done previously by Max West of the National League All-Stars. Evers became the first American leaguer to hit a home run his first time up in his first All-Star game, but Max West did it on the National League side. Going into the last half of the third inning, with the National Leaguers leading 2-1, Mickey Vernon will bat for his teammate Walter Masterson. Mickey is a left-handed batter, and the first pitch by Branca is right over for a called strike. Vernon has a batting average for the season of .260. This is his second All-Star game. Outside, 1-1. Vernon has 2 previous at-bats in All-Star competition without a hit. Branca starts his windup, throws, and it's a half swing, but Mickey checked it and took one low. 2-1. Musier's 2-run homer accounts for both National League runs and Evers' home run for the lone American League tally. There's a foul ball off to the left. The count now is even up, 2-2. Meantime, Johnny Schmitz, Chicago Cubs southpaw, bearing down in a warm-up capacity for the National Leaguers. This will doubtless be Ralph Branca's last inning on the mound, and Vic Raschi will replace Walter Masterson come the start of the fourth. Vernon waits. Outside, 3-2. And the count has been run out again. Tebbetts may be the new catcher because Yogi Berra just took over from Birdie and took Raschi's last few pitches. There's ball 4. Mickey Vernon gets aboard. A base on balls to Mickey puts him on first base in lieu of his teammate Walter Masterson. And Pat Mullen of Detroit comes into the batter's box. Pat struck out as the leadoff batter for the American League. Tommy Henrik comes out into the on-deck circle. The American Leaguers have the tying run on first base in the last half of the third inning. Third baseman Patko in close. High, ball 1. The National Leaguers are probably not certain of the tactics that will be used by Bucky Harris, but third baseman Patko is playing close in the event of a bunt. There's the stretch. Ball 2 outside. It looked that time as though Mullen was just about to swing on it. 2-0. It's a good ball game, a 2-1 game. Last year, the American Leaguers won a close one. A game in which Johnny Mize homered. All 3 runs today have been the result of round trippers. Ball 3. Fastball high. And Branca says, new ball, please. Charlie Berry is quick to reply, and he gives Walker Cooper a new one. Sometimes there's a little roughness on a ball that a pitcher doesn't like, or a smooth spot. Or maybe it's strictly psychological. He just gets it into his mind that it's the baseball and not a temporary lack of control that is troubling him. And umpires are nearly always willing to oblige. In all cases, save where stalling seems to be a factor. Charlie Dressen is hollering over to first base, where Mickey Vernon is ready to go. The pitch. Ball 4. Consecutive bases on balls to pinch hitter Mickey Vernon and leadoff batter Pat Mullen. That is the third base on balls given up by Ralph Branca. Runners on first and second. Tommy Henrik up. And now from the position of the National League infield, they believe that the stage is about to be set for a sacrifice because Mize and Pafko are close with Henrik up. Henrik bluffs the bunt, and there's a throw to second base. It bounds away from Pee Wee Reese. There's no advance on the part of either base runner, and Pee Wee is looking at a finger on his right hand as though it dented it just a little. His thumb, but it's trivial. He just looked at it, flicked it, and went back to his position. Branca has his back turned to the batter and seems to be working with his glove. He is soaking wet. It's a muggy day, excessively warm. Pafko is sneaking in toward the plate a little. Inside, ball 2, 2-0. Johnny Sane is warming up again. A moment ago, it was Johnny Schmitz, the southpaw. But either Leo Durocher has changed his mind, or he believes Sane is going to be a better fireman. He probably has earmarked Sane for a relief role. Strike called, a fastball over the inside corner. This is the first inning in which Branca has found himself in anything approaching serious trouble. He's pitching behind a 2-1 lead. And his previous only bad pitch was a home run ball by Evers. Strike called. That caught the outside corner, and the count is 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. His first time up, Tommy Henrik went down on strikes. He protested, so did Lou Boudreau, but the decision stood. Here it comes. Ball 3. He started a swing, checked it just in time, and the pitch broke into the dirt. And now the payoff pitch comes up with Mickey Vernon on second base, Pat Mullen on first base. Both of them fast on the bases. Chuck Dressen hollers something at Mickey Vernon. Red Corridan is coaching Pat Mullen. Here's the big one. Strike. A throw to third base is not in time. And it's a double steal. Henrik swung, missed, struck out to become Branca's third strikeout victim. But when the throw from Walker Cooper to third base was a poor throw and pulled Pafko over into foul territory, Mickey Vernon was able to slide in safely with a stolen base, and it is scored a double steal. Double steal. 2 stolen bases simultaneously give the American Leaguers an opportunity to go ahead in the event of a good solid base hit. On the other hand, a perfect throw there would have made a double play. Lou Boudreau up. He grounded out to shortstop Pee Wee Reese the last time. The possibility of a double play now is remote. Walker Cooper must be given an orchid because he is playing in the All-Star game at the wish of the fans with a very sore knee. He is not at his physical best. There goes a drive to right field. It will mean a run. Slaughter makes the catch, and here comes the tying run to the plate, and the throw is not in time. It was thrown from deep right field. The other runner, Pat Mullen, held second base, and it is 2-2 as Boudreau flies deep enough to Slaughter in right field to allow Mickey Vernon to come home. Not even a throwing arm like that of Enos Slaughter was powerful enough to gun the ball in from his position, which was about 335 feet out in right field. That's the third run driven in for Lou Boudreau, and he has been in 5 All-Star games. Joe Gordon up. He teams with Lou to defend Cleveland's middle base, the Keystone sack, and they're one of the great combinations of all time. Gordon, his first time up, flied to left. The pitch. There's a ground ball. This one goes to Pee Wee Reese. Reese throws across the diamond to Mize, and Gordon is out 6-3. Reese to Mize. 1 run. No hits, no errors, 2 bases on balls, 2 stolen bases, and 1 runner left. At the end of 3 innings of play, the American League, 2 runs, 1 hit, 2 runners left. The National League, 2 runs, 5 hits, 4 runners left. Now we pause for station identification. This is the world's largest network, the Mutual Broadcasting System. We of the broadcast crew are deeply indebted to the great hospitality of Sid Keener, the veteran sports editor of the St. Louis Star-Times, for the excellence of his cooperation and the thoroughness of his assignment of facilities for both the AM broadcast and the television coverage of this event. And incidentally, since the last time you and I were here, Mel Allen, for a game such as this, Sportsman's Park has had its face lifted and has been rebuilt to the point where now it takes its place among the finest baseball parks in the land. Don't you agree?
I'm with you 100% there, Jim. And the people here in St. Louis, both the Cardinal and Brown representatives, do all they can for the visiting firemen, and it's deeply appreciated.
Needs the comfort and inspiration of religious faith, for it is faith which helps hold our families together, builds moral and spiritual character. And today, perhaps more than ever before, there's a need to turn to a way of life based on the enduring principles of religion. There are a great many programs of religious nature on NBC Radio, which you'll enjoy hearing this Sunday. Among them, The Art of Living, the National Radio Pulpit, Eternal Light, the Lutheran Hour, the Catholic Hour, and the Hour of Decision, conducted by Billy Graham. These are but a few of the broadcasts that will bring you inspiration and comfort, not only this Sunday, but on the Sundays to come. Of course, the Easter message will be the highlight event this week. We know you'll enjoy hearing them as a supplement to your visit to the church of your choice. And when you do go to church this Sunday, take the whole family with you.
You are listening to Chesterton Radio at chestertonradio.com.
We're going to have some changes in the American League roster. Vic Raschi is now doing the pitching for the American Leaguers, and Bertie Tebbetts has gone in to do the catching. The first man up will be Walker Cooper of the New York Giants. Raschi's record is 10-3. He's a right-hander, and his first pitch is a curved ball that breaks inside to a right-hand batter. Raschi is from Conesus, New York. 190 pounds, 6 feet 1, 28 years old. A big, husky right-hander. Low outside. Ball 2, 2-0. Cooper, his first time up, forced Pafko with a ground ball to third baseman Ken Keltner. The new battery, Raschi of New York, Tebbetts of Boston. Here it comes. There's a foul tip right into Bertie's glove, and the count is 2-1. Tebbetts is a native of Nashua, New Hampshire, and a graduate of Providence College. Eddie Dyer continues to coach at third base. His son was working out, by the way, just before the ball game, Eddie Jr. Swing and a miss. Cooper went all the way down in the batter's box as he took a savage cut at a Raschi fastball. 2-2. For the while, at least, this will be Raschi's ball game since it's a tie score. There's a ground ball that goes to Keltner. He takes it down on a big hop, guns it across to McQuinn for the out. Walker Cooper goes out, Keltner to McQuinn, third to first. Pee Wee Reese is waiting to bat. His first time up, he struck out. This is his third All-Star game. Reese is one of the most likable characters in baseball. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. He was born in Akron, Kentucky. Strike call. That was a fastball right down the middle. One man out on the top of the fourth. The National and American Leaguers tied 2-2. Brashy delivers. There's a ground ball. It goes to Keltner, and he takes a vicious grounder, throws to first for the out. McQuinn came up with a nice stop on a low throw. That was one of the harder hit balls of the game. But Reese goes out. Keltner to McQuinn. Two men are out, and we now have a pinch hitter, Frank Gustine of Pittsburgh. He has a batting average of .303 for the year. He's from Hoopstown, Illinois originally, but is a Pittsburgher now. Brashy's first pitch is low and away, ball one. This is Gustine's third All-Star game. He hasn't had a hit in 3 times at bat, but he has a season's average of .303. Brashy winds up. Low. Ball 2, 2-0. Gustine is one of the reasons why the Pittsburgh Pirates will continue to be a pennant contender this year. The pitch. Strike called. Curveball. 2-1. Currently, Pittsburgh is in second place. 5.5 games back of the Boston Braves. The outfield plays Gustine deep and slightly to the left. The infield straight away. He uses an open stance. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Brashy is a strong, powerful right-hander with a good fastball, a good curve, and a very conscientious workman. Gustine gets set for the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3, down in the dirt. Tebbetts throws to first base, and McQuinn gets the putout on the play. It's a strikeout, but he had to be thrown out. 2-3, Tebbetts to McQuinn. So Rashy's first inning is a 1-2-3 affair. At the end of 3.5 innings, the score is National League All-Stars 2, American League All-Stars 2. In baseball slang, as you know, a fast pitch that grazes a batter's whiskers is commonly called a Gillette. Do you know, however, that fast-acting Gillette shaving creams now contain K34, an amazing facial antiseptic? K34 does what no amount of scrubbing with ordinary soap and water can do. It destroys from 85 to 99% of dangerous bacteria on and beneath outer layers of the skin. What's more, the bacteria count stays down. The protection lasts from one day's shave until the next. This means that simply by softening your whiskers with Gillette brushless or Gillette lather and enjoying a smooth, refreshing shave, you end up with the cleanest face a man can have. Not just clean looking and clean feeling, but surgically clean. Enjoy this valuable protection. Ask for Gillette brushless or Gillette lather, a quarter. The new pitcher for the National Leaguers is going to be left-handed Johnny Schmitz of the Chicago Cubs. And his record is 8-9. He will face Hoot Evers, who homered his first time up. Strike called. It's a 2-2 ball game, and just as it is Rashy's to win or lose, for the while at least, so it is Johnny Schmitz's. The pitch, inside 1-1. Vern Stevens, who ranked behind Lou Boudreau in the balloting for American League shortstop, is warming up out in the bullpen. And Bobby Dorr, his second base teammate, is warming up with him. There goes a high fly ball towards left center field. Ashburn coming in. Reese going back. Reese waves everybody away, and he got it at the last instant. But there were a few oohs and ahs before it became certain that he would make the catch. Reese went out about 75 feet from his normal deep shortstop position. So Evers pops to 6. 1 out. Ken Keltner up. His first time up, Keltner walked. He has 1 of 3 bases on balls that were issued by starting pitcher Ralph Branca. A right-hander. Here's the windup. Schmitz pitches. There's a ground ball that goes down the third base line, labeled perhaps for extra bases. Musial fields it quickly. Keltner rounds and has to hold on with a single. A swell throw from Musial to Shane Dean. Holds that hit to one base. That's the second American League hit. And with any less quick fielding on the part of Stanley Musial, it would have been an easy double. George McQuinn up. He flied to center. That's the fourth All-Star game hit for Keltner, playing in his seventh. McQuinn is a left-hander. Schmitz steps back off the rubber, and that's the signal for Keltner to go back to first. That gives Ken one hit and one trip. He walked his first time up. It's a 2-2 game in the fourth inning. Fastball low. Ball one. The game is nearing the halfway mark, at which time there will be the customary change of umpires. 1 ball, no strikes. Outside, ball 2. That was a hook. Wide breaking curve ball. The second base combination, Shane Dienst and Reese of the Cardinals and the Dodgers, is playing in a little, hopeful of a double play. Third baseman Patko is in fairly close with a left-hander up. McQuinn waits for the pitch. There's a drive that goes into center field for a base hit. Keltner goes to second and holds up. Ashburn's throw is cut off by Reese, and the American Leaguer's third hit by George McQuinn puts runners on first and second with Bertie Tebbetts coming up. That was McQuinn's second hit in an All-Star game, and this is his third All-Star contest. So again, the American Leaguers have the tie-breaking run on second base. Bertie Tebbetts' batting average is .286, and this is his second All-Star game. In his last All-Star game, he went to bat 4 times, no hits. George uses an open stance slightly, bends his knees, and looks at one inside for ball 1. Keltner on second, McQuinn on first. Schmidt is having less luck in his first inning than Branca did in his. The game is tied 2-2. Here it comes. Inside. Ball 2, 2-0. Keltner goes back and tags up at second in routine fashion. Red Shane Dienst is playing fairly deep at second base, and Johnny Sain of the Boston Braves is warming up again. The stretch. Here it comes. Inside, 3-0. Schmitz has been pitching tightly to Bertie Tebbetts. Too close to the fist. Dorr and Stevens have both finished their warm-ups and have come back to the dugout. 3-0. Tebbetts is in a position now of waiting for one of the good ones that Johnny Schmitz must throw to avoid walking him. Here it is. Way outside. The bases are loaded. That's the fourth base on balls given the American Leaguers. And in a sense, that has been partially the undoing of the National League, because it has cost them their initial 2-0 and then 2-1 lead. The score is tied 2-2. The bases are filled, and Vic Raschi is the batter. Raschi is very workmanlike. He gives you the impression of quiet, modest, confident efficiency when he steps into the batter's box. Pee Wee Reese just had a word with Johnny Schmitz. They're opponents every other day of the year, but not today when the National League gets together in an attempt to upset the American League apple cart. There's a drive to left field for a base hit. It's 3-2 American League, and here comes another run to the plate. The throw is not in time. It's 4-2 with runners on first and third as Raschi upsets the dope and drives in 2 runs. Raschi, after swinging and missing 2 curveballs, found a pitch to his liking singled sharply to left field, scoring Keltner and McQuinn and sending Tebbetts to third. Pat Mullen is being lifted for Joe DiMaggio. Eddie Dyer is coming out, and that may be the signal for the replacement of Johnny Schmitz with Johnny Sain, right-hander of the Boston Braves. There's the announcement, and that is the signal for a fresh burst of applause. And Johnny Sain is being called in for the National Leaguers. After hitting a line drive foul and then taking another ball, Rashi straightened out that foul ball that he had hit previously and hit a sharp line drive right over the head of third baseman Andy Pafko. Now there's a neat little mound of National Leaguers out on the mound. Red Schoendienst and Johnny Mize are the only two who are not currently sharing in it. Reese comes strolling down off the edge, and John Sain is coming in from the bullpen. Sain has an 11-6 record for the Boston Braves. And this is all happening in the last half of the fourth inning. Sain has been in one previous All-Star game, and he was the losing pitcher, you'll recall, last year. In one inning, he allowed one earned run, 2 hits, struck out 1, but he was charged with a defeat. This is the 9th active appearance in an All-Star game uniform for Joe DiMaggio. He was chosen 10 times, but did not appear 1 time. This, of course, is his 10th season in baseball. He has been chosen every time. Johnny Schmitz has fared the worst of all the pitchers in the contest so far because there's just 1 man out, and the last 4 have reached. He got Hoot Evers on a pop-up. He quieted that home run bat of his. But then Keltner banged a single to left field. McQuinn followed with a single through the middle. Bertie Tebbetts got a base on balls. And then Vic Rashi hit a 2-2 pitch into left field to score Keltner from third base, McQuinn from second base, and send Bertie Tebbetts all the way around to third. This is the kind of a day, incidentally, when a pitcher needs no jacket at first base. What he really would like, in all probability, is a nice air cooling system that could be installed in his uniform to cool him down as he runs around. Joe DiMaggio gets sets. The big fellow has a .302 batting average for the season so far. He has a .219 All-Star game average, 7 hits, and 1 home run. He's driven in 2 runs previously. He's suffering from sore heels and sore knees, so could not see a 2 active service. Johnny Sain broke his position on the mound, and Walker Cooper is going out to have a chat with him. Even though he is not at his physical peak, Joe DiMaggio is a frightening picture for almost any pitcher to contemplate. Far and away one of the great baseball players of all time. And he comes from a distinguished San Francisco baseball playing family. He stands straight away, erect in the box, waits for Sain's pitch. And there's a drive to left field. Tagging up at third base is Tebbetts. Musial makes the play, and run number 5 scores. It was a line drive that was hit to left field, so the big fellow was driven in his 3rd All-Star run. And the American Leaguers have taken a 5-2 lead. Two men out. Tommy Henrich up. All 3 of those runs were charged to Johnny Schmitz in 1/3 of an inning. Tommy Henrich has struck out twice. DiMaggio is applauded as he goes back to the dugout, and now he can head for the showers. There's a drive down the right field line that is going to be close to fair territory. Foul ball. Enos Slaughter ran into one of the grounds crewmen who didn't get out of the way quickly enough. And as Slaughter put his arms around him, I think the gentleman served as sort of a bumper for him. I'm certain that he was considerably softer than that concrete wall. 1 strike. Rashi was well around second base on his way to third. The ball was foul by about 3 feet. Junior Stevens is in the on-deck circle to bat for Lou Boudreau. Henrik is a left-hander, and he hits a high pop-up. Pee Wee Reese is calling for it out on the skin of the infield to the left of second. He takes it, and that ends the inning. And it was a big inning, too, as Henrik popped up to Pee Wee Reese to end it. The American Leaguers came up with 3 runs in that frame on only 3 hits. There were no errors, 1 base on balls, the 4th, and there was just the 1 runner left. So, at the end of 4 innings of play, the American Leaguers have 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 3 runners left. The National Leaguers have 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 4 runners left. Change in the American League lineup at the moment. At shortstop, Junior Stevens of the Boston Red Sox in place of Lou Boudreau. Bobby Doerr of the Boston Red Sox in place of Joe Gordon. And there will have to be a replacement in right field. Al Zarilla of the St. Louis Browns in place of Pat Mullen of the Detroit Tigers. Those 3 replacements swell to a total of 5, the American League replacements of the past inning. The American League batting order now: Zarilla, right field; Henrik, left field; Stevens, shortstop; Doerr, second base; Evers in center; Keltner at third; McQuinn still at first; Tebbetts catching; and Vic Rashi of the Yankees doing the pitching. The public address system announcer is acquainting the fans here at Sportsman Park with a number of changes. And out in right field, 4 National Leaguers are beginning to warm up. Not pitchers. Bob Elliott is one of them, and they will doubtless go to other positions. Phil Macy, a catcher, is one of them. But meanwhile, Richie Ashburn, with 1 hit and 2 trips, leads off in the 5th. Rashi's first pitch is right over the plate for a called strike. Curveball. Rashi pitches. Strike 2. A called curveball. The American League leads 5-2 at the end of 4 innings of play. Clyde McCullough is another of the National Leaguers warming up. Buddy Kerr of the Giants is the other. The windup. High. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Eddie Dyer still coaching at third base, and Mellott doing the coaching at first base for the National Leaguers. The outfield is playing Ashburn a little to the left. There's a ground ball that goes to center field for a base hit. It went by Junior Stevens as he streaked over to try to knock it down, and Ashburn gets his second hit. That is the 6th hit for the National Leaguers. A single to center by little Richie Ashburn of the Philadelphia Phils, one of the rookie sensations of the year. Shane Dietz, the second baseman, up. He has grounded to first and fouled to first. A left-hander. There's a ground ball that goes foul down the right field line. And Buddy Kerr of the Giants turns around and fields that one. Flips it back to first base umpire Bill Stewart. 1 strike to count. The pitch, inside, a fastball that made Shane Dietz lean away from it. Stan Musial has driven in both National League runs with a 2-run homer. He and Ashburn have 2 hits each. Shane Dietz is looking for his first one. Curveball outside. Rashi seemed to lose control of that slow one, and the count is 2-1. No American leaguer has a total of 2 hits as yet. As a matter of fact, the American League run total exceeds its hit total. 5 runs, 4 hits. The pitch. There goes a high fly ball toward right center field. Zarilla comes in for it, and he makes the catch with Evers looking on. Right fielder Al Zarilla has taken Shane Dean's fly ball, and here's Stan Musial again. And the National League fans are hopeful that he will repeat. Hal Newhouser ran out to the bullpen in left field for the American Leaguers, but probably to take a message. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball one. Musial has a two-run home run and a single to center, 2 out of 2. Bob Lemon of Cleveland is warming up for the American Leaguers. Brashy takes a stretch. There goes a long, high fly ball to right field. Zarilla is running over, and it is a foul ball into the stands. That would not have been a home run because the screen stretches all the way over. Had it been in fair territory, it would have been as many bases as Musial could have made. The American League still clings to its 5-2 lead on the basis of that 3-run rally in the 4th inning, in which Vic Raschi swung the big bat. The count 1-1 on Musial. 1 out, 1 on. Strike call. Raschi slow curved him. One ball, 2 strikes the count. Johnny Shuley is warming up Bob Lemon of no hit, no run fame. Musial crouches, swings and misses. Strike 3. Pulled the string and threw a slow curveball that broke right down in the dirt. That is the 3rd National League strikeout. That's the first time Musial's big bat has been silenced. Johnny Mize up. Johnny hit a home run in last year's game. He has 1 hit and 2 trips in this. He singled through the middle in the 1st inning, and in the 3rd inning, his roller to Joe Gordon forced Musial. He's a big left-hander. The outfield moves deep. Outside, ball 1. Ashburn, in 2 leadoff capacities, has reached base safely, each time with hits. The National Leaguers are trying to overcome that 3-run deficit. The pitch. There's a ground ball that goes to Bobby Dorr. Dorr makes the play to first base. McQuinn takes it, and that's all for the National Leaguers in the 5th inning as Mize goes out, 2nd to 1st. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left. And at the end of 4.5 innings of play, the score is American Leaguers 5, National Leaguers 2. While the fame of his immortal achievement grows with each passing year, no one knows the pitcher who struck out the mighty Casey. Just about everybody, on the other hand, can name the razor that fans out tough whiskers with the greatest ease and dispatch. Yes, you're right. It's the improved Gillette Super Speed razor that changes blades instantly. This razor has a notched positioning bar for use with the Gillette dispenser. Hook on a blade and it drops in place presto. Twist the handle and the razor closes. To clean, loosen the holder, rinse, and shave. Convenient? You said it. What's more, you get shaves that are shaves. Clean, smooth, and oh so refreshing. No, it doesn't take a locksmith to make this razor work. Ask for the improved Gillette Super Speed razor with 10-blade dispenser, a big $1.50 value for only $1. And now, for the 4th time as an All-Star Game colleague, it is a privilege again to bring in Mel Allen, the popular broadcaster of the New York Yankees, whose voice you have heard many times on Gillette's All-Star and World Series broadcasts. Mel?
Hello there, everybody, once again. And before we get into action here in the last half of the 5th inning, with the American League leading by a score of 5-2, we see the whip, Ewell Blackwell, walking down to the National League bullpen. We have 2 changes in the National League defensive lineup. Bob Elliott has taken over at third base of the Boston Braves. Buddy Kerr of the New York Giants is at short. Red Shanedean still at second. Johnny Mize at first. Stan Musial still in left. Richie Ashburn in center. Enos Slaughter in right. And back of the plate, Phil Macy of the Boston Braves has replaced Walker Cooper. So those are your lineup changes, plus the umpire switch with Beans Reardon, who was umpiring at third base, taking over back of the plate, and Charlie Barry of the American League, who was back of the plate, taking over at third with the switch between first and second bases, which we'll pick up in a moment. Junior Stevens leading off, takes a curveball. It's over that outside corner for a called strike. Stevens went in to replace Lou Boudreau at shortstop, hitting .300 on the season. Junior is a right-hand hitter, knows this ballpark very well, used to play with the St. Louis Browns. Johnny Sain, the right-hander, throws a fastball, swung on and missed. Strike two. This is Stevens' fourth appearance in an All-Star Classic. He's had 4 out of 10 for a batting average of .400. Joe Paparella is umpiring at first base now, and Bill Stewart at second as they switch too. So it's the National League umpire back to the plate right now. Johnny Sain's 2-strike pitch to Stevens. The curveball's over there for call strike 3. A beautiful hook that sailed right over that outside corner just below the shoulders. So Vern Stevens strikes out as we come into the last half of the fifth inning with the American League leading 5-2. That's the first strikeout recorded by Johnny Sain. And the fourth recorded by National League pitchers as starter Ralph Branco whipped 3 of the American Leaguers. Bobby Dorr, right-hand hitter up, takes high, ball 1. Bobby Dorr replaced Joe Gordon at second base. For Bobby Dorr, this is his 6th All-Star game. He's had 3 hits and 14 times at bat in previous classics. Holds that bat high off his right shoulder. In comes the pitch. Curveballs outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. The score, the American League 5, the National League 2. The outfield playing Bobby Dorr over toward left. He's a pull hitter. He employs a wide-open stance. The infield shaded around toward third, and there was a hint of thunder, I believe. In comes the pitch now to Bobby Dorr. He takes strike called. That was a fastball over that outside corner, about letter high. It's a 2-1 count on Bobby Dorr. Johnny Sain, the third pitcher employed by Leo DeRocha this afternoon. Sain in a relief role, relieving Johnny Schmitz. Here's the pitch. It's in there for call strike 2. Bobby started to swing, held up, but the pitch was in there anyway, sweeping curve. Johnny Schmitz was scheduled to have worked the middle 3 innings, the 4th, 5th, and 6th. He took over from Branca, who had worked the first 3 innings, giving up 2 runs and 1 hit. But Schmitz was knocked out of there in the 4th inning, and Sain came on to put out the fire. Now the pitch is swung on and missed. Beautiful curveball that Bobby Dorr swung at and missed, and it's strike 3. And Johnny Sain records his 2nd successive strikeout, and that's the 5th American Leaguer to go down on strikes today. Now coming up is Hoot Evers of the Detroit Tigers, who hit a home run in the 2nd inning to give the American League its first run. Popped out to short his last time up. The outfield playing him to pull. Infield shaded around toward third. Johnny Sain delivers over the outside corner for a called strike. And the big Boston Brave right-hander is showing some of the neatest pitching of the afternoon thus far. The American League out in front 5-2, last half of the 5th inning. Johnny ready, delivers. Pitch that's just outside for a ball. Hoot Evers started off at it, held up, and plate umpire Beans Reardon called it a ball, and the count is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on. Last half of the 5th inning, 5-2, favor the American League. The right-hander delivers. Here's a fastball that's over that outside corner for called strike 2. Johnny Sain, who was charged with the defeat in the 1947 All-Star game, coming on to do some wonderful pitching thus far. Bob Elliott at third, close to that line, halfway back. Sain ready. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Hoot Evers. Curveball's in there for called strike 3, and he strikes out the side. Johnny Sain strikes out the side in the last half of the 5th inning for one of the highlights of this 15th annual All-Star game this afternoon. And at the end of 5 innings of play, the score remains the American League 5, the National League 2. The American League 5 inning totals 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 3 left on. The National League 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 5 men left on base. Before we go into the top half of the 6th inning, ladies and gentlemen, we pause for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. This is Mel Allen with Jim Britt and Franz Locke speaking to you once again from Sportsman's Park in St. Louis, Missouri, site of the 15th annual Major League All-Star Game. The sun is shining brightly. We're ready to move into the top half of the sixth inning, with the American League leading by a score of 5-2. Celebrities galore from among the Major League Baseball executives here. As we sweep around very rapidly, we can see Mr. Ford Frick and Mr. Will Harridge, the National American League presidents. Mr. Bill Beck and Hank Greenberg of the Cleveland Indians, Dan Topping, and George Weiss of the New York Yankees, Joe Cronin of the Boston Red Sox. And now we're ready for the sixth inning. Enos Slaughter takes a pitch in there for a called strike. Top half of the sixth. Slaughter walked and singled in his two previous appearances. Left-hand batter. Vic Raschi, a right-hander, throws. Pitch, fastball inside. And the count is 1-1. Kenny Keltner's at third, in on the grass in the event of a bunt. Junior Stevens at short. Bobby Dorr second. George McQuinn first. Henrik is in left. Evers in center. Zarilla in right. In comes the pitch. And it's right down the middle. A fastball for called strike two. Eddie Dyer coaching at third base. Mel Ott coaching at first. Joe Coleman of the Philadelphia Athletics, a right-hander, warming up in the bullpen with Yogi Berra catching him for the American League. 1-2 strikes, the count on Slaughter. They play him to pull to right. Vic Raschi delivers. Slaughter swings and sends a little dribbler out to the mound. Raschi comes in, fields the ball near the first baseline, throws over to McQuinn in time, and there's one away for the National League in the first half of the sixth inning. Slaughter topping the pitch, sending little dribbler out toward the mound, which Raschi converted into the putout by way of George McQuinn. And now we have Bob Elliott stepping in to hit for the first time in the ball game, having replaced Andy Pafko at third base. Member of the Boston Braves, a right-hand hitter. Won the Most Valuable Player award of the National League in 1947. Elliott has been in 3 All-Star games with batting average of 200. Right-hand batter, the pitch. Curveball way outside for ball one. Bob's had 1 out of 5 in All-Star game competition. The score, American League 5, the National League 2, first half of the sixth inning. Outfield playing him to pull. They're around toward left. Raschi delivers. Fastball is just off that outside corner. Just missed it for ball 2. Vic Raschi came on to do the pitching for the American League after Walt Masterson had hurled the first 3 innings, walking 1, striking out 1, giving up 5 hits and 2 runs. Raschi struck out 2 thus far and has given up 1 hit. Hasn't issued any passes. It was a year ago that Frank Shea got credit for the American League victory. In comes the pitch. Swung on, lined solidly into the hole between third and short out in the left field for a base hit. Henrik comes up with the ball on a high bounce, throws on into second, and Elliott is on with a line single to left for the 7th hit of the afternoon for the National League. Coming up to bat now, another member of the Boston Braves, Phil Macy, who replaced Walker Cooper back of the plate. Macy, right-hand batter. He's been in 2 previous All-Star games, hasn't hit in 2 times at bat. Vic Raschi takes the stretch, 1 away. Elliott leads off first. Here's your pitch. Curveball outside, ball 1. We started to say a moment ago that Frank Shea was credited with the American League victory last year, a member of the New York Yankees, and at the moment, Vic Raschi is in position to be credited with the victory representing the New York Yankees again this year. Simply a matter of rotation of pitchers and the situation of a ball game. Here's your delivery. Curveball is way outside. Bertie Tebbets blocked it beautifully to keep from being a wild pitch. And the count now on Phil Macy, a right-hand batter, 2 balls, no strikes. Ewell Blackwell of the Cincinnati Reds is throwing in the bullpen. Tommy Holmes of the Boston Braves is warming up out there. We'll see action shortly. Bob Elliott leads away from first base, 1 out. 5-2 favor the American League sixth inning. There's a pitch that's lined out into center field for a base hit. Taken on 1 hop by Hoot Evers. Holding up at second is Elliott as Evers fires that throw into third, cut off by Stevens at short. And the National League is beginning to stir here in the sixth inning as they come up with their 8th hit of the ball game. They've out-hit the American League now 8-4, but the American League leads by a score of 5-2, capitalizing on wildness in the 4th inning on the part of Johnny Schmitz, together with 3 solid base hits. Now Buddy Kerr steps up, batting in place of Pee Wee Reese, for whom he substituted at short. Buddy Kerr of the New York Giants, another right-hand hitter. Buddy Kerr's first appearance in an All-Star game. You've got Bob Elliott on second, Phil Macy on first. 1 out, 6th inning, 5-2 American League. And ominous clouds are looming back of center field. Here's the pitch. Inside and high, ball 1. In addition to Joe Coleman in the American League bullpen, you've got further activity. Bob Lemon is beginning to throw. as Vic Grashy is showing a sign of weakening. 2 men on, 1 out. 6th inning, 5-2 American League. The National League threatening. Buddy Kerr up there, right-hand hitter, chokes his bat about 3 inches. Outfield a step toward left. Your pitch is right over that inside corner. There's a throw down to second base, but it's knocked off by Vic Grashy at the mound as Bertie Tebbetts bluffed the throw down there, but threw it right back to Rashy hard, and Bob Elliott went scooting back into second base as Bobby Dora had sneaked in behind him for a potential pickoff. All right, we're ready. Here's your pitch. Buddy Kerr swings and sends a dribbler down toward third. Kenny Keltner comes in, up with it, makes his play to first base to McQuinn in time for the out, with Elliott going to third and Macy to second. So Kerr is out. Keltner to McQuinn on a slow roll at the third. 2 down. Scheduled to hit is the pitcher, Johnny Sane. But certainly Leo DeRocher will now send up a pinch hitter. It's beginning to get very dark out here at Sportsman's Park, ladies and gentlemen. We can see rain way off in the distance. And not too far off in the distance. The wind is blowing those clouds in this direction over the ballpark. And the wind's beginning to blow around. Put some weights on your papers, fellas. And we may have rain here in any moment, at any moment. But, of course, it's already a full ball game. We've gone 5 innings. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Johnny Sane. It's going to be Ed Waitkus of the Chicago Cubs, making his first appearance in an all-star game, a left-hand hitter. Eddie Waitkus coming up. Left-hand batter with 2 men on, runners on second and third. Waitkus, a boy from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Elliott on third, Macy on second, and rain in the offing. Rain, rain, go away, come back another day. Here's the pitch. Waitkus takes outside and high, ball 1. So the American League is being disturbed by the National League at the moment, though the American League leads 5-2 top of the 6th, and everybody's being disturbed by the threat of rain. Now the pitch comes in to Waitkus. He takes outside. Ball 2. The wind is blowing in toward home plate. And it is definitely raining about a half a mile from here. We can see it. And it's moving this way. Let's hope it holds away. Vic Grashy looks in to get the sign from Bertie Tebbetts. Elliott leads off third, Macy off second, 2 out, 6th inning, 5-2, favor of the American League. Rashy gets the sign. Pinch hitter Ed Waitkus up there at the plate, a left-hand batter. Here's the delivery. And curveball inside for ball 3, and the wind is blowing hard and blowing those rain clouds this way. And the fans are stirring in their seats, and they're beginning to move from the bleachers to shelter. And the Sportsman's Park groundkeepers are getting ready to roll that tarpaulin. Vic Grashy into the windup. The 3-0 pitch to Waitkus. In there for a called strike. And what was a beautiful day up until this moment, or a couple of moments ago, is being turned into stormy weather on the banks of the Mississippi. 3 balls, 1 strike. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. Here's your pitch. Waitkus takes strike 2, call a fastball that zipped over that outside corner above the knees. Now the pinch hitter steps out of the batter's box, rubs his hands together, moves back in hitting position. Elliott on third, Macy on second, 2 out, 6th inning, 5-2 American League. Here's the payoff pitch. Eddie Waitkus swings and fouls it off to the left of the plate, out of play into the lower stands. And the count holds at 3-2. Richie Ashburn, leadoff man, is on deck. Oh, Mr. Rain, please don't come this way. Hold off for at least another hour or so. Now the payoff pitch. Waitkus takes high, ball 4 in the National League. Got him loaded. That is the first base on balls given up by Vic Grashy. And the second pass issued by American League pitchers. Masterson walked 1 in his 3 innings. You got Elliott on third, Macy on second. Eddie Waitkus on first base, 2 out, 6th inning, 5-2 American League. And here's Richie Ashburn, who's had 2 out of 3, 2 singles, fly to left in his other appearance. And the pitch, Ashburn takes strike, call, a fastball poured over there, letter high. Vic Grashy in a bit of a jam, goes to the rosin bag, gives a little touch. Activity in both bullpens. Lemon and Coleman warming up in the American League bullpen. Blackwell for the National League. Bases loaded. Rain is on its way. The pitch. High outside, almost a wild pitch. Bertie Tebbetts had to go far off to his left, reach way over his head to keep that one from being a wild pitch. Bertie calls time, and walks out toward the mound to try and settle Vic Brashy down. The William and Mary boy, who was born in West Springfield, Massachusetts, now lives at Conesus Lake, New York, often referred to as the Springfield Rifle. On the mound with a count, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases loaded. Top of the 6th inning, American League leading 5-2, with the National League having the bases loaded and 2 down. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled back to the screen, strike 2. The wind is blowing at a terrific clip over toward left field. And blowing in toward the plate now as it quarters around. Elliott on third, Macy on second, Waitkus on first, 2 outs, 6th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Richie Ashburn, the batter, left-hand hitter. Vic Brashy into the windup. Here's the pitch. And it's in there for called strike 3. Beautiful curveball. And Vic Brashy pitches himself out of the jam. So for the National League, no runs, 2 hits, no American League errors, and 3 big men left on for the National League. And the score at the end of 5.5 innings remains the American League 5, the National League 2. When I say he won 511 games during his pitching career, you know I'm talking about the all-time no-hit king. Yes, and when I tell you it has the sharpest edges ever honed, today's Gillette Blue Blade pops into your mind. Men, this blade fits your Gillette razor exactly. Its edges line up absolutely parallel and extend precisely the right distance. You avoid the irritation and discomfort caused by misfit blades and faulty shaving methods. For extra convenience, at no extra cost, buy Gillette Blue Blades and the handy Gillette dispenser. This contains 20 blades with 40 shaving edges. You deal them out one at a time, unwrapped, ready for any Gillette razor. Also, you pay only 98 cents, price of the blades alone. Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades with the sharpest edges ever honed. Coming in to do the pitching now for the National League and causing oohs and ahs as he fires that ball into the plate in his warm-up pitches is Ewell Blackwell, sensational right-hander of the Cincinnati Reds. The buggy whip. Tommy Holmes has gone into right field, replacing the Slaughter. Holmes of the Boston Braves. Ashburn is still in center. Stan Musial still in left. Bob Elliott at third, Buddy Kerr short, Red Shane Dean second, Johnny Mize first. Shane Dean and Mize have been in there ever since the game started. Phil Macy doing the catching, and Ewell Blackwell coming on to do the pitching. As we go into the last half of the 6th inning, Johnny Sane came into the 4th inning with 1 out, worked the 5th. So he worked 1 2/3 innings. Kenny Keltner leads off for the American League last half of the 6th inning. Right-hand batter. The first pitch is high, ball 1. Keltner walked in the 2nd inning and singled to left in the 4th. It's thundering in the distance out back of right field. 5-2 American League, last half of the 6th inning. Ewell Blackwell sidearms him. It swung on and lined out to right field viciously. Going back is Holmes. He makes the catch knee-high as the ball sank on him as he went back on it. And there's 1 away for the American League in the last half of the 6th. Coming up now is George McQuinn, who's been in there at first base throughout the contest. McQuinn flied to center and singled to center in his 2 previous appearances. Ewell Blackwell on the hill, appearing in his 3rd All-Star game, throws a curveball that swung on, looped over the head of Buddy Kerr out into short left center, and it dropped in there for a base hit in front of Stan Musial, who gave it a good try. And McQuinn is on with his 2nd hit in succession. A bloop single to left center. And for George McQuinn, it's his 3rd All-Star game hit. He had 1 out of 8 until the start of today's All-Star Classic. This being McQuinn's 3rd appearance in one of these Midsummer Dream games. That's the 5th American League hit of the afternoon. The first off Blackwell and his Bertie Tebbetts. Peppery backstop for the Boston Red Sox, a right-hand hitter who replaced Buddy Rozar back of the plate. There goes McQuinn. Hit and runs on. The pitch is swung on and missed. The throw down to Curry. Puts the tag on McQuinn, and he's out. And then the decision is changed by Bill Stewart, and he says he's safe. And Buddy Kerr is arguing with Bill Stewart. The first disturbance of that kind in the ball game. Buddy Kerr can't contain himself as he goes after Bill Stewart, and Bill Stewart keeps walking away from him. And the New York Giants fighting shortstop is right after the diminutive umpire. Evidently, Buddy Kerr must have missed the tag. And Buddy is still arguing with Bill Stewart. It's scored as a stolen base. The hit and run was on. The pitch was way outside. I don't think it was a pitch out. Tebbett swung at the ball anyway. The throw down was in time, but somehow or other McQuinn got around the tag to stolen base. The count on Tebbett is 1 strike. 1 away, last of the 6th inning. Blackwell has the stretch, sidearms the hitter, and it's way outside for a ball. 1-1. I'll tell you one thing. If I were a right-hand hitter, I'd hate to stand up there against that Blackwell. He's all arms and legs. I think Lou Smith, Cincinnati sports writer, described Blackwell appearing to a batter, when he delivers that ball to a batter, appearing to the batter as if his man falling down out of a clump of trees. The tall right-hander throws. Curveballs outside. Ball 2. 2-1. Sidearm sinker specialist. Mixes it up with a good fastball. Curve. 2 balls, 1 strike to count on Bertie Tebbetts. George McQuinn on second base. 1 out. Last half of the 6th inning. The American League 5, the National League 2. Stan Musial homered in the 1st inning with 1 on to give the National League a temporary 2-0 lead. Now Ewell Blackwell delivers. Fastball swung on and missed. Tebbetts went all the way around. The count is 2-2. The outfield is playing Tebbetts just about straight away. Perhaps a step toward left and center and left, straight away and right. A lot of room in right center. Bob Elliott laying halfway back at third, about 4 feet off the line. Buddy Kerr normal short in the step. Red Shane Dienst over near second. Johnny Mize about 10 feet off the first baseline and back. McQuinn leads away from second. Ewell Blackwell ready. The stretch. A look back at second. Here's the pitch to Tebbetts. He takes high for ball 3. So we have a full count on Bertie, 3-2. Beans Reardon umpiring back to the plate now. Joe Paparella at first base. Bill Stewart at second. Charlie Berry at third. Berry umpired back to the plate. The first 4.5 innings. Ready for that payoff pitch to Bertie Tebbetts. 1 down. McQuinn leads off second. Here it is. It's swung on and bloop foul. Back of first. Johnny Mize digs after the ball, but he can't get it. It's out of play into the lower stands to the right of the National League dugout, which is located back of first base. And now just popping his head out of the American League dugout is one of the greatest ball players you've ever seen. He's been injured, and yet he appeared here in a uniform today. Ted Williams. He's got a bat in his hands, and Ted can't sit on a bench and be idle. He's got to be doing something. He's got a bat in his hands, and that's what he likes to have whenever he's around the ballpark. All right, Bertie Tebbetts awaiting that payoff pitch once again. Here it is. It's strike 3 call. A sidearm fastball on the outside corner, and Bertie Tebbetts gets mad at Beans Reardon. He got red in the face and hollered at Beans, and Beans took his mask off and went right back at Bertie, and they're standing there face to face at home plate. And now Bertie is leaving. And so the second disturbance between the players and the umpires. And I want you to know that proves that these 2 ball clubs are out for business. And Ted Williams is going to use that bat, ladies and gentlemen. He comes out of the dugout, and he's going to pinch hit. He's going to pinch hit for Vic Rasche. Bertie Tebbetts strikes out, and Ted Williams, listen to the roar. Ted Williams, who pulled a rib cartilage a few days ago and hasn't been able to play for the Boston Red Sox, nevertheless has come on to St. Louis, is in a uniform, and is up there to pinch hit with McQuinn on second. Ewell Blackwell pitching. Ted Williams taking outside, ball 1. And get the picture. One of the greatest right-hand pitchers in baseball. One of the greatest hitters in baseball, left or right. Up there at the plate, in this instance, the left-hand hitter, Ted Williams, the kid. The stretch by Blackwell. Look back at second. Here's the pitch to Ted. Williams takes a curve inside. Ball 2. And Ted would certainly love to be able to take his full cut. We watched him in batting practice. He wasn't taking that real Williams cut of the ball. But you know he's got so much power, he can take a half swing and send one over the wall. 2 balls, no strikes to count on Williams. 2 outs. Last half of the 6th inning, 5-2 favor the American League. The outfield around toward right. Buddy Kerr is playing directly in back of second base as the shift is on. The stretch to pitch. Williams accidentally fouls one off to the right of the plate, a slow curve. He tried to check his swing. He was ready to step into the pitch. He saw a slow curve coming up there, and he tried to check his swing, but the ball hit the handle of the bat and skittered foul off to the right of the plate. The National League version of the shift has Buddy Kerr, the shortstop, playing directly in back of second base. Most times the shortstop will play a normal second with your second baseman over toward first and your first baseman right on top of the first base line. Shane Deans is well over toward first. Mize is on the line. Blackwell ready. Here's the delivery. Curveball is outside for ball 3. 3-1. Bob Elliott, the third baseman, is laying about 10-15 feet off the third baseline, halfway back. So it's a 3-1 count on Williams. He has a look at Chuck Dresden coaching at third for any sign that might be sent his way, and you can be sure that Bucky Harris says, go ahead, son, and hit it if you like it. So Blackwell is ready, the buggy whip. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Ted Williams takes high outside, ball 4, and Ted strolls. Some of the fans indicate their displeasure over Williams' inability to swing at one, but Ted takes a walk down to first base. And now, native St. Louisans applaud the appearance of one of their own St. Louis Brownies, Al Zarilla. And here is Hal Newhouser going down to run for Ted Williams. Hal Newhouser, great left-hand pitcher of the Detroit Tigers, makes his appearance in the ball game as a runner for Ted Williams. We're in the last half of the sixth inning, ladies and gentlemen, with a score. The American League 5, the National League 2. There are 2 outs. McQuinn's on second. Newhouser running for Williams is on first. The batter is Al Zarilla, left-hand hitter. Ewell Blackwell has the stretch, the pitch. Zarilla swings and sends a bounding ball out to Shane Deans. 2 hops. He's up with it over to Kerr for the force out on Newhouser. And that is all for the American League in the last half of the sixth. No runs. 1 hit. No errors, 2 men left on. And the score at the end of 6 innings, the American League 5, the National League 2. And right now, let's pause for station identification. This is the world's largest network, the Mutual Broadcasting System.
There are people in most countries who would like to live in the Republic of the United States or the Dominion of Canada where that good Olga coal is sold. The citizens of our free countries are the envy of many people elsewhere because of the personal freedom which we have enjoyed. Why, then, doesn't every country adopt a form of free government? One answer is that, unfortunately, there are people and parties in many nations who are so greedy for power that they will sacrifice the freedom of their fellow countrymen to obtain power for themselves. History, even recent history, is replete with such instances. That is why the citizens of the Republic of the United States and the Dominion of Canada must be careful to recognize at its very beginning any movement to steal or limit their freedom. That is not always easy. The man who would enslave a free people doesn't begin by saying, "Now I'm going to be your dictator." Instead, he probably will claim that he is a devoted supporter of personal freedom, but all the while he will support policies that weaken and undermine personal freedom. Such a man will deny any totalitarian aims, but free citizens must not be deceived by such denials. Apparently, it is a cardinal principle of every sincere totalitarian that he is justified in lying, if such lies will advance his plans. In these times, no public figure and no party or organization supporting such a person can be accepted without careful consideration. Every public figure and organization must be carefully scrutinized, and if their real aims are to limit or to destroy our freedom as individuals, they must be opposed and defeated.
This is Chesterton Radio, your home for podcasts of works by G.K. Chesterton, plus drama, comedy, mystery, science fiction, big bands, and much more. The soundtrack to your Chesterton day at chestertonradio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking to you once again from Sportsman's Park in St. Louis, the appearance of Ted Williams gives occasion to utter the thoughts of the baseball commissioner, Commissioner A.B. Chandler, who authorized us to make this statement to you baseball fans of America. He said that almost without exception, every man who was selected by you fans and by the managers is here today in uniform despite injuries or whatever the situation may be. And he wants to assure you that in the future, the Major League ball players will continue to keep faith with the baseball fans of America, and that in the future, all men who are selected will be here in uniform if it's physically possible for them to be here. Rashi worked 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, no runs. And as the score now stands, as the situation now stands, Rashi may be credited with the victory. Walt Masterson went the first 3 innings, giving up a home run to Stan Musial in the first inning with 1 on. Here's the pitch. Shane Dean swings, golfs a grounder out toward second. Bobby Dorr scoops it up, throws over to McQuinn in time, and there's 1 away as the ball almost played a dirty trick on Bobby by taking a bad hop. But Bobby watched it and played it perfectly to retire Shane Dean for the first out in the top of the 7th. And here is Stan Musial, who hit a home run in the first inning with 1 on. Richie Ashburn led off and got himself an infield hit. Musial singled in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th. Right-hander Joe Coleman comes in with an overhand curveball that zips over that inside corner for a called strike. Joe Coleman of the Philadelphia Athletics, 6'2", 193-pounder, comes in with fastball that's outside, 1-1. Coleman, a 25-year-old boy, is from Arlington, Massachusetts, and we have quite a number of New Englanders in the ball game today for both teams. Outfield around toward right. Here's your delivery. It's a curve inside, around the knees. Ball 2, 2-1. 1 out, 7th inning. Johnny Mize is on deck. Stan Musial at the plate. And Ralph Kiner is throwing out in the bullpen. He may see some action shortly. Here's your pitch. Musial takes outside. Ball 3, 3-1. Joe Coleman, you know, is the boy that was discovered by Father Gilbert, who discovered Babe Ruth. Now the pitch to Stan. Inside, ball 4. And one of the great hitters in baseball gets the base on balls here in the 7th inning. And coming to bat is Johnny Mize of the New York Giants, who's been in the ball game all the way, as has Musial. Mize has had 1 out of 3. First inning single, hit into a forced play in the 3rd inning and grounded out to second in the 5th. Coleman delivers. Pitch that's inside for ball 1. For the American League, you've got Tommy Henrik in left field, Hoot Evers in center. They've been in all the way. Al Zarilla in right, having replaced Pat Mullen. Kenny Keltner's at 3rd. He's been in there all the way. Junior Stevens at short, replaced Boudreau. Dorr at 2nd, replaced Gordon. McQuinn at 1st, in there all the way. The pitch. Mize holds up as he started to swing at a curve that came inside for ball 2. Bertie Tebbetts is back to the plate for the American League, having relieved Buddy Rozar. Joe Coleman on the hill for the American League, having replaced Vic Rashi, delivers to Mize, who takes a fastball over at the knees. Strike 1 call. 2-1 the count on Big John. Eddie Dyer, manager of the Cardinals, coaching at 3rd. Mallott, manager of the New York Giants, coaching at 1st. McQuinn, not holding against Musial, stepped in behind him. Coleman ready, delivers. Mize takes strike 2 called over the inside corner, letter high. Big John steps out and looks around at Beans Reardon to question the decision. As Bertie Tebbett's throwback to Coleman got away from him, rolled out toward second, and Dorr and Stevens, alert, converged to keep the ball from going into center. No advance. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. National League fans starting that rhythmic applause, calling for a rally. Joe Coleman ready, delivers. Johnny Mize swings and grounds it foul off to the right of the plate. There's thunder in the distance, and we hope that the wind will blow the storm away. We're in the 7th inning with the score. The American League 5, the National League 2. National League got off to a 2-0 lead in the first inning. American League got 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and 3 in the 4th to go ahead 5-2. 1 down. Musial on first. Mize the batter. The count 2-2. Coleman delivers. John swings and he misses. Strike 3, a slow curve. We've noticed that the American League pitchers have been slowing up on these sluggers in the right spot when they've had the count in the right spot. And now here is Tommy Holmes, who replaced Enos Slaughter in right field. Tommy Holmes, a Brooklyn boy, playing with the Boston Braves, who at one time belonged to the New York Yankees, hitting .330 on the season, a left-hand batter. Joe Coleman, a member of those amazing Philadelphia Athletics, doing the pitching now, having just come on in this inning, throws. A pitch is swung on, topped out for the mound, taken to 1 hop by Coleman, throws over to McQuinn. Holmes is out, and that's all for the National League. In the top half of the 7th inning, no runs, no hits, no American League errors, 1 left on for the National League, a total of 9 they've stranded. And at the end of 6.5 innings, the score, American League 5, National League 2. You know, old-timers say it was next to impossible to hit a ball past Jimmy Collins, the greatest of all third basemen. Yes, and going to the impossible, you can't name another shaving instrument that compares with a modern Gillette one-piece razor. Take, for instance, the improved Gillette Super Speed razor that changes blades instantly. Twist, the razor opens. Zip, it's loaded. Twist again, and you're ready for the sweetest shave ever. Every stroke is light and gentle. There's no drag, no irritation. You skim off stubble slick as a whistle. Save time, save fuss. To clean, loosen the holder, rinse, and shake. Here's a precision instrument, not a gadget. There's nothing to fit together, nothing to jam or clog. For modern shaving comfort and convenience, get the improved Gillette Super Speed Razor with 10-blade Gillette dispenser. A big $1.50 value for only $1. Coming into the last half of the seventh inning, changes in the National League lineup. Replacing Al Schoendienst at second base is Bill Rigney of the New York Giants. Stan Musial has moved over to center field, and Ralph Kiner of the Pittsburgh Pirates has taken over in left field. So make those changes, if you will. Put Musial in Richie Ashburn's place in center, and put Ralph Kiner in left field. Tommy Henrich leading off last of the seventh. Ewell Blackwell throws a curve that's outside for ball one. Put Bill Rigney in there at second base in place of Red Schoendienst. Right-hander Ewell Blackwell delivers. Tommy Henrich takes right in there for a call strike fastball that zipped over there about letter high. It's a 5-2 ball game, favor of the American League, last half of the seventh inning. Henrich's been in the all the way. He struck out twice, popped out to short once. Blackwell throws. Fastball is swung on, drilled foul down the left field line and out of play as it goes into the stands. 1-2 strikes the count on Tommy. Boy from Massillon, Ohio. Considered by many to be one of the most underrated baseball players in the major leagues. 1-2 strikes the count. Blackwell has a look over into the National League dugout. Evidently, Leo Durocher must have hollered at him to throw a certain kind of a pitch. But anyway, here it comes, and it's high. Ball 2, 2-2 the count. This is Henrich's third All-Star game. He came in today's Classic with 1 out of 5. Hasn't hit today in 3 appearances. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ewell Blackwell delivers. Curveball swung on and fouled off again back of third base into the upper deck. Count holds at 2-2. We are indebted for the official scoring on doubtful plays to Mr. Ed Burns, Bob Burns, and Sid Keener of the Fourth Estate. Now the 2-2 pitch on its way. Tommy Henrich swings and fouls another one off to the left of the plate into the upper deck. As the thunder breaks loose with an ominous warning, and we hope that's all it will be, is just a warning. We'll be nice and gentle and quiet if you just let the rain hold off for a little while longer. 5-2, American League last the seventh. Again, the pitch to Henrich. Tommy takes outside, fastball, ball 3, and the string is run out to 3-2. Blackwell has won 6 and lost 5 this year. A sore arm took charge of him shortly after the season got underway, and he has not been able to establish the sensational record this year that he did last year. Now the payoff pitch to Tommy Henrich. Swung on, popped up in the air down the left field line, going foul and out of play into the lower stands as Ralph Kiner started digging over for it. Bob Elliott and Buddy Kerr both started to move, but they saw it was foul and held up. Elliott third, Kerr short, Rigney second, Mize first, Macy catching, Kiner left, Musial center, Holmes right. Blackwell pitching to Tommy Henrich, and the 3-2 delivery. Fastball is inside, ball 4, and Henrich gets a base on balls to lead off for the American League in the last half of the seventh inning. That is the 6th base on balls given up by National League pitchers today. And here is Junior Stevens coming to bat. Vern Stevens, who replaced Lou Boudreau at short. Stevens struck out in the 5th inning in his first time at bat today. Blackwell ready. Sidearm Stevens, and the pitch is outside, ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Stevens has been a great help to those Red Sox, particularly in the last couple of weeks. He's really been banging the ball. Takes the pitch inside now for ball 2. He's been challenging Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio for runs batted in honors in the American League and home run honors as well. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Outfield toward left. Stevens is a full hitter. Nobody out. Henrik on first. Johnny Mize holding against him. Blackwell taking his time, looks in and gets the sign from Phil Macy. Thundering again. Henrik leads off first. Blackwell ready. A look around. Here's your pitch. Swung on, hit into the hole between third and short out in the left field for a base hit. Kiner takes the ball on the hop, throws toward third, holding Henrik at second base. So Vern Stevens singles to left field to send Henrik down to second. And there's renewed activity now in the National League bullpen. Looks like Elmer Riddle of the Pittsburgh Pirates, who first gained fame as a member of the Cincinnati Reds, is beginning to warm up the bullpen, and we see a flash of lightning off back of right field. And there's the thunder that follows. And here is Bobby Dorr at the plate with runners on first and second. The stretch by Blackwell. Here's the pitch. Bobby shortens up, misses an attempted bunt. A throw down to Buddy Kerr, and Henrik is safe at second base. As the tag was put on, he slid in underneath it. Bill Stewart called it. Bobby Dorr missed an attempted bunt. The runners were way off their respective bases, ready to move. Phil Macy cut loose with a beautiful throw down on the bag, which Buddy Kerr came over and took on the run, put the tag on Henrik sliding in, but Henrik beat the tag. Elliott's in close at third. Mize in close at first to look for the bunt. Elliott will try to anchor at third in the event Blackwell or Mize can handle the bunt, or Macy the catcher. Now the pitch is bunted, popped up in the air. Mize comes in fast, grabs it in the air for the out, and the runners alert. Streak back to their respective bases, one away. So Bobby Dorr, attempting to sacrifice, pops out to Johnny Mize halfway between home plate and first base. And now coming to bat is Hoot Evers, who's been in there all the way. The Detroit Tiger outfielder hit a home run in the second inning for the first American League run. Popped to short in the fourth and looked to the third strike in the fifth inning. Bats him right-handed. 5-2 American League, last of the seventh. One out, runners on first and second. Ewell Blackwell delivers. Hoot Evers swings and fouls a curve off back of first base, out of play against the upper deck steel girder, sometimes known as a facade. One strike to count. One out. Evers, a right-hand hitter, the batter of the outfield toward left. Henrik is on second. Vern Stevens on first. Infield shaded around toward third with Bob Elliott laying halfway back at third and about 3-4 feet off the line. Blackwell all set. Looks back at second and then steps off the rubber, bluffs a throw, and bluffs Henrik back towards second. Nobody was over to take the throw in any event. Once again, we're ready to stretch by Blackwell. Runners dance away. Here's a crossfire that's outside. Ball one to Hoot Evers. 1 ball, 1 strike. A young man who came to the Tigers touted as a potential great and who was stymied for a couple of years by injuries. So far this season, he's doing nicely. Thank you. Blackwell throws, curve that swung on and missed. Strike 2. I'm telling you, that sidearm stuff of Blackwell's is murder on a right-hand hitter. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Hoot Evers the batter. Tommy Henrik eases off second base. Stevens off first. Johnny Mize not holding against Stevens, of course. He's laying back deep at first, about 10 feet off the line. Blackwell again prepares to work, takes the stretch, looks back at second base. Here's the 1-2 pitch. High outside. The ball bounces out of the mid of Macy. No advance. And the count becomes 2-2. Jimmy Britt has seen Ewell Blackwell work many a ball game. He looks awful rough even from a radio broadcasting booth, doesn't he, Jim?
I wouldn't want to stand up there with a bat that short, Mel.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Blackwell sets once again, looks back at second. Here's his pitch. Swung on and fouled off back of first, out of play, going into the lower stands, as another clap of thunder bursts overhead. A short-sleeved crowd, and they have long since gathered their belongings, preparing to make a mad dash to the nearest shelter in the event the ominous-looking clouds overhead should let their wrath down upon those who've been kind enough to come out to see this all-star game.
Ewell Blackwell throws. Pitch is swung on, foul tipped, and gets away from Phil. And the count holds at 2-2. It's a 5-2 ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Last half of the seventh inning. Favor the American League. The broadcast coming to you, the best wishes of the Gillette Safety Razor Company from Sportsman's Park in St. Louis. Ewell Blackwell, fourth pitcher used by the National League today, on the hill, pitching to Hoot Evers with Tommy Henrik, who walked on second base, and Vern Stevens, who singled on first. And there's one out. Now the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, foul off again to the right of the plate as Evers keeps trying to get hold of it. Ball's out of play. Phil Macy gets a new ball from plate umpire Beans Reardon, tosses out to Blackwell. Meantime, Elmer Riddle continues to work in the bullpen for the National League. Blackwell checks with Macy for the sign. Henrik's about to wear out the baseline, leading off second, and Stevens from first. Here's your pitch. Fastball swung on, hit down the right field line, and it goes foul into the National League bullpen. That's an indication in itself of how speedy Blackwell is when a pull hitter like Hoot Evers continually hits him to right field, though foul. Shows that it's tough to get around on Blackwell's fast up. The right-hander looks in to get that sign from Macy. Henrik again leads off second. Vern Stevens takes his lead off first. The tall right-hander that has the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul off again, off to the right of the plate. The ball bounces back down into the stands from off the roof. And, of course, as we indicated to you earlier, Commissioner Chandler said that no matter how dark it might become, if the ball game should be tied up, we'll turn on the lights and keep going until the game reaches a conclusion. Of course, it's difficult to do very much about the rain. If the rain comes down, I'm afraid we shan't be able to help out that situation. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on first and second. Ewell Blackwell ready. Here's his pitch. It's swung on by Evers, popped up into the air at about the mound, and with 1 out, we're looking for the infield fly rule to be called. It is, but Rigney comes in to make the catch at the mound, making the catch that Rabbit Marinville used to make around the midsection, letting that ball plop into his glove as he holds his glove just about belt high. But the batter was automatically out anyway, under the rule which says with runners on first and second, or first, second, and third, less than 2 out, if a ball is popped into the air, which in the judgment of the umpire can be easily handled by an infielder, the batter is automatically out. The runners move at their own risk. So, Evers pops to Rigney at the mound, and here's Kenny Keltner, who walked single to left and flied to right. 2 men down. Here's the pitch to the right-hand batter. He swings and sends a drive out to left field. Ralph Kiner backing up, getting under it, and he takes it for the out. So once again, Ewell Blackwell pitches himself out of a potential jam. No runs for the American League. 1 hit. No errors for the National League. 2 men left on for the American League. A total of 7 that they have stranded. And the score at the end of 7 innings remains the American League 5, the National League 2. And incidentally, if you are sticklers for tradition and statistics, never has a National League entry ever won an all-star game when it has been the visiting team. The official paid attendance today, 34,009. 9 folks over 34,000, with the total receipts $93,447.07. And of course, the All-Star game, as you know, is played for indigent ball players. That's where the money goes. For ball players who have found their luck going against them after they have retired from active play. All right, we're ready now to move into the first half of the 8th inning with the American League out in front by a 5-2 score. And here is Bob Elliott coming up for the National League. Right-hand batter. Joe Coleman of the Athletics throws fastball high inside. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. At the end of the game, Franz Locks will be on hand to give you a recapitulation of what occurred during the course of the game if you missed any of it. There's a curve that's over that outside corner for a called strike. And Elliott stepped out of the batter's box, a little bit angry about it. And Beans Reardon is looking away from him as the fans have something to say. 1 ball, 1 strike. Joe Coleman ready. The right-hander throws. Elliott swings and sends a long drive deep to right field. Alzarilla backs up near the wall and makes the catch for the out as that ball, taking off as it left the bat, looked as if it might go deeper than it did, and then sank, which cut down the distance of the drive. So Elliott lines to Alzarilla in right center. First half of the 8th inning with the score, the American League 5, the National League 2. Stan Musill's first inning homer with 1 aboard gave the National League a temporary 2-0 lead. Hoot Evers hit a home run in the second to make it 2-1. The American League got another in the third and 3 in the fourth to lead 5-2. There's a pitch swung on by Phil Macy, hit high into the air, foul down the right field line. George McQuinn giving chase to it under it, makes the catch some 45, 50 feet down the line past first base and in foul territory. 2 up and 2 away quickly for the National League in the 8th inning. And here comes Buddy Kerr of the New York Giants, a native of New York. Another in the long line of native New Yorkers who have reached Major League fame, including people like the late Lou Gehrig and Joe Judge and Hank Greenberg, who incidentally is here today. Buddy Kerr, right-hand batter, swings and fouls it off behind the plate. Strike 1. Buddy Kerr replaced Pee Wee Reese at short. Keltner third, Stevens short, Dorr second, McQuinn first. Coleman pitching. Kerr taking a curve high outside. 1-1 now the count. Coleman asks for a new ball. Bertie Tebbetts turns around and gets it from Beans Reardon. Outfield playing Buddy, step toward left. Coleman working rapidly, delivers. Pitch, it's bunted but fouled off to the left of the plate. Buddy Kerr, who's off and running, has to come back. He's trying to get on any way he could, perhaps start something. And the count is 1-2 on the National League shortstop. Now your delivery is outside, ball 2. 2-2 the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 8th inning, 5-2, American League. Coleman getting the sign from Bertie Tebbetts. Leans forward into the windup. Around comes the right arm. The pitch, curveball, just outside for ball 3. Coleman started to take that walk off the mound toward the dugout, but Beans Reardon said no, ball 3. So we have a full count on Buddy Kerr with 2 outs here in the 8th. And the payoff pitch is strike 3 called, the curveball. It got the outside corner as Buddy started to take a walk. He stops at home plate to argue with Beans Reardon, but to no avail. No runs for the National League, no hits. No errors for the American League, nobody left on for the National League. And at the end of 7.5 innings, the score, American League 5, National League 2. Fans, you'll never know what modern shaving speed and ease are like until you use the improved Gillette Super Speed Razor that changes blades instantly. This razor has a notched positioning bar for use with the Gillette Blue Blade dispenser. You just hook on a blade and it falls in place, presto. Then twist the handle and you're ready for the smoothest, most refreshing shave you ever had. Now, men, it doesn't take a locksmith to make this combination click. No, sir. There's nothing to fit together, nothing to jam or clog. Cleaning is no trick either. Simply loosen the razor, rinse, and shake. Why not enjoy this extra shaving comfort and convenience? Ask for the improved Gillette Super Speed Razor with 10-blade Gillette dispenser. Get this regular $1.50 value for only $1. Ready now for the last half of the 8th inning. It'll be George McQuinn, Bertie Tebbetts. First 2 men up for the American League. And then Joe Coleman is scheduled to follow. Ewell Blackwell delivers to the left-hand hitter. McQuinn swings and he misses. Strike 1. McQuinn's been in there all the way. He's had 2 out of 3, singling his last 2 times up. The Cincinnati right-hander throws. Fastball that backs McQuinn away. Ball 1. Now the 1-1 pitch to McQuinn. Backs him away again. This was a curveball. And the count is 2-1. High inside pitch. Outfield playing toward right and center and right, straightaway and left, the big hole in left center. Here's your pitch. McQuinn swings and sends a ground ball down the first baseline. Johnny Mize eats it up, a race to the bag. Mize wins it. McQuinn is out, and there's one away in the last half of the eighth inning for the American League. And now Bertie Tebbett strolls to the plate. Ewell Blackwell is one of the few sidearm sinker specialists, right-handers, who is almost equally as tough on left-hand hitters as he is on the right-hand hitters. He pitches now to Bertie Tebbett outside. Ball one. You see, Blackwell is a very tall fellow, and he takes a step out toward that third base line, and when the ball comes in over the plate, it looks as if it's coming in from third base. Now the pitch. Just misses the outside corner for ball two. Blackwell is a native of California. Lives in San Dimas, California right now. Was born in Fresno. The 2-0 delivery. Outside, ball three. 3 balls, no strikes. Three nothing to count on Bertie Tebbett. Blackwell's father is out here today to watch his son in action. We had the pleasure of meeting him as folks stirred around about St. Louis last evening, all agog about the All-Star game. Now the pitch is over the inside corner for a call strike. Tebbett started to take a walk, and Baines Reardon hollered out strike. Perhaps you may have heard it in the background over these microphones. And, of course, that stirred some excitement from the fans. 5-2 American League. Last half of the eighth inning, 1 out, nobody on. The 3-1 pitch to Tebbett. Outside, ball 4, and Bertie walks. That's the 7th base on balls issued by National League pitchers today. And Blackwell walks in toward the plate to argue with Baines Reardon. Not too vehemently, but he's a little bit irked. And he starts back toward the mound and stops and turns around and hollers something else back to Baines. To all intents and purposes, he's merely saying, as Jim Britt and I often hear the ball players talk, he's merely asking Baines to give him a break on the corners. All right, here's Joe Coleman up there to hit for himself, right-hander. Bertie Tebbett's on first, 1 out, last the eighth inning, 5-2 American League. Ewell Blackwell ready to work the stretch. Here's the pitch. Coleman bunts and fouls it off to the right of the plate. Strike one. It was quite a nice gesture on the part of the baseball commissioner to allow Bert Schotten to throw out the first ball today. Bert Schotten, who directed the Brooklyn Dodgers to the 1947 National League pennant. Everybody seemed very pleased with it. Now the pitch to Coleman. He takes a fastball low. Ball 1, 1-1. Bert Schotten was a guest of the National League at the game today. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Tebbett leads off first. Blackwell pitching to Coleman. Here it is. Coleman bunts and pops it in the air, but Blackwell can't get it. Gets by him, but Myers is backing up, picks it up, throws to Rigney, covering first in time for the out on Coleman. It was a little low pop, about 3 feet off the ground. Blackwell dashed in, reached down for it, but the ball hit in front of his glove, bounded by him, but Myers backed him up near the mound and tossed over to Rigney, covering first for the out on Coleman. It's a sacrifice. Moving Tebbett down to second. And with 2 down, here is Al Zarilla, left-hand batter, having a great year with the St. Louis Browns. Blackwell ready to work. Here's his pitch. Swung on and missed, strike one. A sweeping curveball that had Zarilla fooled all the way. The National League started Branca, came on with Schmitz, who fared worst of all today. Schmitz was relieved by Sane, and Blackwell in turn took over for Sane. Now the pitch. Swung on, hit up into the air, out into center field. Going back for it is Stan Musial. He's under it, makes the catch in deep center for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs for the American League. No hits. No National League errors. 1 left on for the Americans. A total of 8 that they've stranded. The National League has stranded 9 men during the course of the ball game. And we're all set to move into the top half of the 9th inning with the American League leading 5-2. As we indicated to you, ladies and gentlemen, Franz Laux will be on at the conclusion of this game to give you a recapitulation on how the runs were scored, so we shan't bother you with those details at the present time. They'll be given to you very shortly. At the moment, we pause for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Going into the top half of the ninth inning, the National League trailing by 3 runs. It's 5-2 American League. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Ewell Blackwell. Bobby Thompson, as we check, of the New York Giants, is going to come up to bat for Blackwell. He will be followed by Ralph Kiner. And then Bill Rigney is scheduled to follow. So the National League comes up in the ninth inning, trailing 5-2. Bobby Thompson making his first appearance in an all-star ball game. Right-hand batter, Joe Coleman, into the wind-up throws. Thompson takes a curve outside for ball 1. Bobby's one of the few Major League ball players that was born in a foreign country. He swings and fouls it off onto the screen. Strike 1. He was born in Glasgow, Scotland, but now resides in Staten Island, New York. Of course, he came over here when he was quite young and learned the American game and learned it well. The right-hand hitter swings and fouls it off. Strike 2. Phil Marshallton of the Athletics is a Canadian, to give you another example. Here's the pitch over the head of Bobby Thompson, ball 2. Elmer Vallow of the Philadelphia A's was born in Rybnik, Czechoslovakia, to add another as we quickly search our memory. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count on Bobby Thompson, pinch hitting for Ewell Blackwell, ninth inning, 5-2 American League. And here comes the rain, and the folks are scattering out of the boxes. Coleman delivers. Swung on and missed by Bobby Thompson, strike 3, and there's 1 out in the ninth inning. Coming to bat is Ralph Kiner. And the rain, kind enough to hold off till the ninth inning here with 1 out, begins to come down at Sportsman's Park in St. Louis. And Ralph Kiner steps to the plate for the first time in the ball game. Joe Coleman's into the windup. Here's the pitch. Kiner swings and sends a ground ball wide of third. Keltner in front of Stevens, up with it over to McQuinn in time for out number 2. So they're 2 away from the National League in the ninth inning. And here's Bill Rigney of the New York Giants coming to bat with a score of 5-2 in favor of the American League. And the rain is beginning to come down, and perhaps our prayerful remarks over the past few innings, asking the rain to stay away, were heeded, at least up until this point, with 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning, with Joe Coleman into the windup, pitching to the right-hand batter, and it's high inside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 5-2 American League, ninth inning. Joe Coleman delivers. Pitch is low. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, and the rain is really beginning to pour down hard, and the umpires are hopeful, to a degree, that the game will be able to be concluded in its entirety before the rains pour down too hard. There are 2 outs here in the ninth inning. 2 balls, no strikes on Rigney. The rain pouring, and the pitch is inside for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. And ladies and gentlemen, with everybody scattering out of the field boxes, remaining and taking his soaking is Commissioner Chandler. The pitch is high, ball 4, Rigney walks. Commissioner Chandler refuses to budge out of his seat, along with his 2 boys, Ben and Sam. And he's sitting right out there in it. His sentiments being, I'm the commissioner of baseball. Baseball is my game, and I'm going to stick with it, rain or no rain. Here is Stan Musial. Bats him left-handed. And the pitch. Musial takes in there for a call strike. Rigney got a base on balls. 2 outs, 9th inning. 5-2, favor the American League. The stretch by Coleman, pitching to Musial. The left-hand batter takes outside now for ball 1, 1-1. Stan hit a home run in the first inning, single to center in the third, struck out in the 5th, and walked in the 7th. Coleman all set again. Checks his runner. Here's the pitch. Musial swings and sends a ground ball out to Bobby Doerr. Up with it. There's the throw over to George McQuinn in time for the out, and the ball game is over. And the American League defeats the National League by a score of 5-2 to become victorious for the 11th time in 15 games. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of this 15th annual All-Star Classic, brought to you with the best wishes and compliments of the Gillette Safety Razor Company in another of its cavalcade of sports. We hope that you enjoyed the play-by-play description of this game, and it was a real pleasure to once again have been associated with Jim Britt, who brought you the first 4.5 innings, and Franz Laux, who will give you the summary. And this is Mel Allen thanking you very much for tuning us in this afternoon, and we hope to see you again soon. And now, here is Franz Laux.
Thank you very much, Mel. And first, I want to compliment you and Jim Britt on doing a splendid job here this afternoon and giving the fans a play-by-play description of this game. A little rundown on actually what happened and how it happened. The totals on the game for the National League show 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. For the American League, 5 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. The National being 2 up on hits, but they were a little bit down on runs. They started off by registering 2 runs in the very first inning. The National League, incidentally, had a total of 10 men left on base, while the American League had a total of 8 men. Johnny Schmitz, who was in there for the Chicago Cubs, was charged with a loss this afternoon, and Vic Raschi, who went in to relieve Masterson after Masterson went out of the ball game, was the winning pitcher. And incidentally, that makes the 6th time that a New York Yankee pitcher has been the winning pitcher in the All-Star Classic. Last year, it was Shea of the New York Yankees. And then in 1942, it was Spud Chandler. And Gomez had 3 of them to his credit in 1933, again in 1935, and in 1937. So the Yankees really have a monopoly on the winning pitchers in the All-Star game. The game started off in the first inning with Masterson on the mound for the Washington Senators, and it looked like the National League was really going to go to town. When Richie Ashburn smashed one down through the box, Joe Gordon made a great stop over back of second base, but his throw was a little bit high, and it was an infield hit for Ashburn. And then Shane Deese, while Shane Deese was batting, Ashburn moved down to second base, getting credit for a stolen base. And then Shane Deese grounded out unassisted with Ashburn moving over to third, and then Stan Musial stepped up to the plate, and after having the count 2 strikes and 1 ball, he hit one on top of the right center field pavilion for a home run to put the National League out in the lead. And that's the only runs that they scored for the day. Johnny Mize followed up with a single, and then Enos Slaughter walked, but they couldn't produce any more hits there in the first inning to get any more runs. The American League came up with their first run in the second inning after 1 away when Hoot Evers sent a line drive into the left field seats. The American Leaguers came back to tie the ball game in the last half of the third without the assistance of a hit. 2 walks and a double steal resulted in the damage there in that inning. Vic Raschi, who happened to be the first batter up, walked. And then Pat Mullen also walked on 4 straight pitches. Then Hendricks struck out, was called out on strikes. And while he was batting, they worked the double steal on the 3rd strike with Raschi moving over to third and Mullen down to second base. And then Lou Boudreau sent a fly ball out to Slaughter in right field, and the runner scored with the run that tied up the ball game. Then their final 3 runs came in the 4th inning after 1 away on a neat play by Pee Wee Reese, who took care of a fly ball by Hoot Evers. It looked like it was going to fall in there for a Texas leaguer. And then 2 singles, a walk, and another single. And that single, incidentally, was by the pitcher Raschi. Drove in 2 of the runs. Another one scored on an outfield fly. And that produced the margin of the scoring for the afternoon. For the rest of the way out in the ball game, it was an even struggle, you might say. Although Blackwell, the whip who was on there, was in a jam a couple times, he still managed to come out without any damage. So this is the 15th annual All-Star Classic. The American League has now won 11. The National League 4 of these games. So fans, the story of another great All-Star game goes into the record book. But Gillette's cavalcade of sports carries on. Thursday night, Gillette presents a special sports program with guest boxing experts from cities around the fistic circuit. Plan to be at your radio and enjoy the fun. Consult your newspaper for local time and station. This is Franz Locks with Mel Allen and Jim Britt saying smooth sailing, smooth shaving, and good afternoon for your radio host, the Gillette Safety Razor Company. This broadcast came to you from Sportsman's Park in St. Louis.
Checkerboard Jamboree, sponsored by the Ralston Purina Company, was canceled today only because of the broadcast just concluded. Stay tuned now for Queen for a Day, which follows over most of these stations in just a moment. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Ladies and gentlemen, a long time ago it was written that man shall not live by bread alone. In this often quoted line from the Bible, bread is merely a symbol of all material values. And although we in America have the greatest material advantages in the world, they are not enough to bring us complete happiness. We must find that happiness in our spiritual as well as our material lives, in faith as well as bread. In America, one of our most precious heritages is the right to worship as we please, to know the spiritual pleasures of our churches and synagogues. The doors of your places of worship stand open to you, and your religious leaders will welcome you to their services. They also offer you personal and family guidance and the opportunity to become a firm part of your community. Through our churches and synagogues, that community and the families within it can find stability. And as an individual, you can find the peace that only religion can bring. Thus, the religious organizations of America invite you to find yourself through faith and come to church this week. Good night.
This is Chesterton Radio, the true, good, and beautiful at chestertonradio.com.